Next man up, 1025 The Game. Jake Lyman, Parker Kelly with you on this Wednesday. We are broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. It is NFL Eve. Eagles and Cowboys coming up tomorrow. The long offseason is almost over. Titans are just a few days away from their opener in Denver. Corey Curtis from News 2 is going to join us for the full show. But as everyone out there knows, I'm sure, traffic is always an adventure on these Nashville roads. So Corey will be in with us. Excited to talk with Corey about the Titans Week 1 matchup with the Broncos. We'll talk some college football as the new AP poll came out yesterday, go through maybe some of the surprises after Week 1. Also, the biggest NFL storylines as we head towards the opener tomorrow night. Again, Eagles and Cowboys from Philadelphia tomorrow, and then we'll get Chiefs and Chargers in Brazil on Friday to open up the season. Also, later on in the show, ESPN put out an article, and I'm not really sure what the point of the article was. And Parker, we talked about how the FPI is kind of a joke yesterday. Like the college football one had 12 SEC teams in the top 25. There's some bias in there. Well, ESPN released one single simulation of the NFL season from their FPI. We're going to go through it and see what they have the Titans doing coming up in the final hour of the show. We're going to talk a lot of Titans with Corey. I want to start with the news this morning, Parker. Have you seen this with Kawhi Leonard?
Yeah, I saw it on my way in. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but
this is a huge scandal, and I really don't know how the NBA can handle this other than maybe forcing Steve Ballmer to sell the team. For anybody who has not seen the news today, Pablo Torre reporting on his podcast today that the Los Angeles Clippers and owner Steve Ballmer are being accused of paying star Kawhi Leonard $28 million for a no-show job as a way to circumvent the NBA salary cap. So basically, Kawhi Leonard signed a $28 million endorsement deal, but there was nothing to do for it. And the company, which was a fake company, was owned by Steve Ballmer. There's also a clause in this that says if Kawhi Leonard stops playing for the Clippers, then the contract is terminated. So that means it, like, the endorsement was dependent on him still being a Los Angeles Clipper. This may be one of the biggest cheating scandals we've seen in major sports in a while. And I don't know how the NBA is going to handle this. And obviously there needs to be some sort of investigation into it. We don't know 100% all the details yet, but I mean, I can't see any way they go about this other than forcing Steve Ballmer to sell the team.
I have to, right? Was Kawhi Leonard tricked into believing something that wasn't actually true?
I mean, you can't blame Kawhi Leonard, right? Like Kawhi Leonard, you offer him $28 million. He doesn't care how he gets it. Like, that's not on Kawhi. If Steve Ballmer decided he wanted to do this to circumvent the salary cap, that's on him, and he's going to be held responsible for this.
Yeah, there's no way Steve Ballmer gets any. I mean, he's severe punishment. There's no way around that. That's I can't believe that. That's wild.
I mean, it is. I was reading through this morning, and I don't see any other way except for Steve Ballmer not being able to own the team anymore. And that's tough because he just opened a $1 billion+ arena in LA.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's so stupid because somebody was going to find this eventually. Like, there's public record of this, of a contract being signed, and the clause in there saying if he doesn't play for the Clippers anymore, then the contract is terminated. I mean, that's kind of the smoking gun, isn't it? Like, this is not an endorsement deal. This is basically just an extension of his Clippers contract, which was outside of the NBA's realm. I'm excited to see what the NBA does because the NBA in general, there's not a whole lot of enforcement of a whole lot of, like, except for Ja Morant.
Similar to the NCAA, I'd say. People seem to walk all over Adam Silver.
Right. And it kind of, with the second, what's it called? The second apron. The second apron in there, like, I think they've kind of started to lock in the salary cap and avoid these super teams. But now you've got a team just going out of their way to break those rules. I don't see how that ends well for Steve Ballmer and the Clippers. So anyway, just wanted to start with that because I feel like that's the biggest story of the morning. Kawhi Leonard reportedly paid $28 million for a fake endorsement deal for a company that doesn't exist, owned by Clippers owner Steve Ballmer. And it says if he plays for another team, then it does not exist. So that it is an extension of his Clippers contract to circumvent the salary cap. The NBA's got to do something about it. I'm sure we will hear more about this in the coming days. Parker, I wanted to ask you too. I need some advice. Are you a lottery guy?
I've never once played the lottery.
You've never played the lottery.
Never.
The Powerball is 1.3 billion tonight.
I was told, and I considered buying a ticket. I just never did.
I haven't yet. I'm considering it. I'm not a huge lottery player. I think, the old adage is like it's a tax on stupid. It's like because the odds are of you winning the jackpot, 1 in like 300 million. So it's almost impossible. But when you look at it when the jackpot gets this big, the odds don't change. Like it's still 1 in 300 million or whatever it is. So the expected value of it is honestly about $2 when you look at the numbers. So at this point, I felt like maybe it couldn't hurt to go buy a couple of tickets. So I wanted some advice.
Maybe we can go after the show and get one together.
Maybe
Who knows?
Maybe we do that.
I'm not opposed.
I just wanted some advice here because I'm not a big lottery player. I've done it a couple of times. Like that was one of the things when you turn 18, like I'm going to go buy a lottery ticket. It's a coming of age thing. So I've done it a couple of times, but I saw the lottery get to 1.3 billion. And I was like, you know what? I might
$2. It's just $2.
Right. And it's like, you do it expecting to lose, but you can't win if you don't play.
You got a point.
So maybe that is something I'll do. $1.3 billion. It's a lot. I think the lump sum would come out to probably 500, 600 million. And then after taxes, it gets down to probably like 300 million. So
still a nice chunk of change right there.
I mean, at some point, does the number even matter if you're winning that much money?
Nope. I'd just be happy with 1 million, so.
Right. I mean, and all you need to do for that, I think, is get all 5 numbers. You don't even need the Powerball. So anyway, lottery tonight. Maybe Parker and I will go indulge and get some tickets.
We'll give an update tomorrow.
Yeah. You know what? If I win, I probably won't give an update tomorrow. I won't be here. 615-737-1025. I'm kidding. I probably would still show up. I have fun doing my job. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. If you want to text or call, our phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Plenty to come on the show today. Again, Corey Curtis from News 2 is going to join us. We're going to talk some Titans as they get ready to take on the Broncos in week 1. Lots to get to from yesterday's practice, including Alec Ayamaner being listed as the starter on the Titans depth chart. We'll get into that. Again, also the ESPN put out an article that has the Titans having a very surprising season in their simulation. We'll get into all that with Corey, who just walked through the door. He'll join us coming up next here on Next Man Up, 102.5 The Game. Michigan takes on Oklahoma this Saturday at 6:30 p.m. on our college football game of the week on Sports Talk 830, presented by Twin Peaks Restaurants and Circus Sportsbook Kentucky. Coverage also available on the Game Nashville app and at thegamenashville.com. Next man up, 1025 The Game, Jake Lyman, now joined by Corey Curtis from News 2. Corey, thank you for battling traffic again. I know it's always an adventure out there.
Yeah, I don't want to bore everyone, but I just will say this. I've never seen the traffic lights all laying in the road before.
That's never a good sign.
And no, it's not. It looked like the Titans offensive line for the last 3 years, just all laying there dead.
Yes. So glad that you could make it in. And we've got plenty to get to. Titans getting ready for week 1 against the Broncos. First official game week practice. We'll get an injury report today. So, that's when you know you're back, when you see the tweets of the injury report coming out.
And we also get the answer of it'll all be in the injury report after practice.
Right. So we will see. I think there is some concern about a few players, even though.
Would L'Jarius Sneed be one?
Right.
Okay.
Like L'Jarius Sneed, I would be stunned if he's a full participant. You know what? Actually, I will be stunned if he's not listed on the injury report.
Yeah, I think I think anything above questionable would be amazing.
He will be a limited participant in practice today. I can almost guarantee it.
Limited would be super.
But that's what he's done for the past 2 years, apparently, with the Chiefs and with the Titans, is he practices a little bit throughout the week and he's ready for Sunday. So hopefully that's the case. I think the one person that I'm a little more concerned about is T'Vondre Sweat and just the conditioning.
Yeah, sure. I think that's fair.
Can he be full go T'Vondre Sweat on Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
And I know we've talked about this a lot. I think it'll be important for him to get 3 full days of practice this week.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll see what the injury report looks like after practice this afternoon.
You're also going to altitude, which doesn't help. James Lynch has been a very serviceable backup, but he doesn't weigh 365 pounds.
Right.
Or what? I mean, maybe T'Vondre's 350 now. Who knows? He looked thinner. I will say that.
He's definitely lost a little bit of weight.
But you've got T'Vondre for a reason. So I would expect a lot of T'Vondre on first and second down. And I would expect a lot of Simmons, Key, Oladejo, Joseph Day on third down. I would expect that to be more of your 4-man front, having Key, Oladejo, or Draymond Jones.
Right. I wonder if maybe you even put Draymond Jones' hand in the dirt and then have Oladejo and Key on the edges.
I'm talking about, 2 of those ends with their hand in the dirt.
Right.
On third down is what I would expect. Even with a healthy Sweat, I would expect that quite a bit this year. But in this game in particular,
it does seem like Lloyd Cushenberry is going to be ready, full go. I think we
he started ramping up in Atlanta.
Right.
So,
and they cut Corey Levin, which I know that they got him back on the practice squad and you can elevate him. And they may elevate him because it can't hurt to have some experience behind Cushenberry.
Yeah.
But I think you feel pretty good that your starting 5 offensive linemen going to be ready to go. I know J.C. Latham missed a little bit of practice there, but he seems to be ready to go. Mm-hmm. It's going to be crucial against this Broncos team that led the league in sacks last year. Make sure Cam Ward's protected on Sunday.
Yeah, I heard PK's numbers in the last show, 15 players with a sack, 2 players with over 10. Vance Joseph brings it from a lot of different places, but there is no replacement for guys who can just win.
Yeah.
All right. And that's something the Titans haven't had a lot of outside of Harold the last few years. And Jeff wins. He just hasn't been able to finish as much as he would like. And that's one of the reasons that he dropped some weight to be just that quarter of a step quicker,
right?
To hopefully finish some plays. But they've got guys who can finish plays. But look, I'm not making excuses for anybody. And I don't like to blame sacks on the quarterback as much as a lot of people do, but there is part of the responsibility is on the quarterback. We all saw plays where last year where Levis could have gotten rid of the ball.
Oh yeah.
And that to me is going to be the big challenge for Cam Ward. I asked him about it on first down. Are you and coach on the same page, about how you approach the passing game on the first down? Because Brian Callahan hates first down sacks more than anything in the world. And he would much rather you just take incomplete than take a sack. And, and I hate interceptions more than anything in the world on first down. So, you don't like mistakes on first down, especially when they're a choice. When one of your choices is incomplete, that should be the choice over the other two. And I know Cam's a gunslinger, and I don't want them to take that out of his game. But I think Brian Callahan coined the phrase last year, you have to know when the journey's over.
Right.
And you've got 2 more downs. You've got 2 more downs. And he's got to understand it, and we'll see how it goes.
For Sunday with Cam Ward, I don't think you need anything flashy with him.
No.
He needs to, like you said, take care of the football and don't get the team behind the sticks.
If he
that's
can
the most important
extend
thing.
plays to throwing complete even,
right.
I go, okay. And maybe in another game, he extends that play, and that's a pass downfield. But look, if you extend the play and incomplete, you've just earned 5, 7, 8 yards instead of a sack.
Yes. I know all Titans fans out there want to see on Sunday Cam Ward make some acrobatic wizard play where he gets out of a sack and throws a 50-yard bomb downfield to Alec Iamaner because he's the other flashy rookie. And that's what everybody wants. But if he just doesn't throw an interception and make sure to throw the ball away instead of taking some dumb sacks, I think that'd be huge. And you mentioned you can't blame all sacks on the offensive line. You see Dabo Sweeney basically blaming all the sacks on Cade Klubnik.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, he said Cade created some of those pressures by holding on to the football. And that's what you do see that a lot from young quarterbacks is they do think that they can make every single play, and that gets them in trouble a lot of the time.
Yeah, I mean, I always talked about being a Bears fan, just the frustration of seeing Joe Montana just drop to the ground for a 2-yard loss instead of taking a 5 or 7-yard sack. Or you watch Peyton Manning for years Peyton would take incomplete in a heartbeat. I mean, and so, if a great quarterback can do it, you can do it too. You can really do it.
Right.
So, sometimes incomplete is your friend, and you just have to be willing to embrace that. And I know I'm sounding like I'm really lowering expectations, but I'm not, because this team perfected beating itself last year.
Yeah.
And a big part of this, the first part of this team being good is not beating itself. Limiting interceptions, limiting fumbles, limiting penalties, limiting sacks. A lot of those are decisions, okay? And making the right decisions look, if they could just straighten up that part of the game, they'll win more games just on that.
Yep.
If they have a ±0 in turnovers this year, they will win more than 3 games. I promise you.
And you look at Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league right now. And I know early on in his career, what he was known for was the flashy play, the left-handed pass, and, running out of bounds and throwing. But the last 3 or 4 years, he doesn't do that stuff as much anymore. He makes the right decisions and he takes care of the football.
He had a different team.
Right.
He had a more talented.
He had Tyreek and prime Travis Kelce.
Yep. And so he had a more talented team around him, and they weren't as defensively driven. They needed to score more points. He needed to win games. He realizes now, and I'm not sure he would say this, that he doesn't need to lose games.
Right.
But I'm sure he knows we have a really strong defense. Right. Because you're right. He is not near as flashy. They didn't score 30 points all last year.
No.
And they went to the Super Bowl. I mean, that's you. If you ever told me Patrick Mahomes would have a season where they don't score 30 points, I would say, did he get hurt? But they still went to the Super Bowl because he realizes what they've got and he limits mistakes.
Patrick Mahomes is the definition of he's a game manager when he needs to be, but when he needs to make the flashy play, he can.
When you call upon him.
And that's what you hope Cam Ward can turn into, a guy who's going to make the right decisions, but has the ability to make those hero ball plays at the right times.
Yes.
And choose the right spots to do that. 3337 on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, says, hey, I've been hearing a lot of, I can't even believe they are letting the Titans in the ring with these guys about the Broncos. And I kind of understand it, but let's be excited about football. There's some words in here I can't say. I hope these 53 guys aren't as ready to get whooped as this fan base seems to be. Tighten up. And so we had people calling in yesterday, Adam from Portland, saying that I'm a Broncos fan, talking about how little of a chance the Titans have.
Yeah.
I think on paper, you look at this game And
bad
the
matchup.
Broncos are a bad matchup. And I said it yesterday, if you could have picked the worst possible matchup on the schedule for a rookie quarterback, this is probably it. What are your thoughts heading into this game? Do you think the Titans have a fighting chance?
Are they an NFL team?
Right.
Yeah, they got a chance to win.
Yeah,
they got a chance to win.
That's what I was saying.
But, look, we watched last year when it didn't matter who they played. They would find a way to lose or almost lose. They almost lost to New England, all right, who was horrible. And so I think Titans fans have a little PTSD.
Yeah.
And it's understandable. So I think it's nice to be realistic, okay, and not set the bar so high where there's just no way you can meet it. It's okay to be excited about your team, and you could even be excited about your team in the way you perform in a loss.
Yep.
All right. I mean, that is possible. And look, if Bo Nix threw 14 interceptions last year, all right, if they can get 2 and take 1 to the house, maybe they, are and they can turn this game into a run the ball slugfest. And they've got a huge offensive line. The Titans do.
Yep. And
if you can grind this game out and take it to the fourth quarter and see if Cam can win you a game. I mean, to me, that would be an awesome scenario. If win or lose, to put the ball in Cam's hands to win the game at the end and give him that experience would be amazing.
That is all I would be asking for if I'm a Titans fan, is get to the last 5 minutes of the game where you have a chance to go tie it or win it.
Yeah.
And if you're in that situation against a playoff team,
yeah,
when you were the number 1 pick last year, like that's a success, I think.
Yeah, and look, they're not wrong. The Broncos aren't a Super Bowl favorite.
No.
They're a good team.
Right. This isn't like you're going on the road to Arrowhead in week 1.
No.
Like that would be an almost impossible
task. You're not playing the Eagles. You're not playing the Bills. All right. You're playing the Broncos at Mile High to open the season. It's that's the other thing. People account for the building and they account for the altitude. There's a lot of things kind of going against them. So I mean, look, they're the second biggest underdog in the NFL this weekend.
Yep.
The Cowboys are the biggest on Thursday night, but it's the NFL,
right?
That's the beauty of this league, is the difference between really good and really bad is really small,
right? And we've seen 14-point underdogs in the NFL win games. Like it happens almost every year. That
the Titans won in Houston last year. Nobody saw it coming.
Last year in week 1, the Patriots beat the Bengals. No one saw that coming either.
I think I lost a bunch of money on that.
Our good friend Adam in Portland texting in. The Broncos are about to get exposed. I know they were good.
Okay.
They have no film on Cam. If we are in the game in the fourth quarter, we are winning. I hope so. I really do. It would give us plenty to talk about next week if the Titans win in week 1.
Look, there's 4 years of Cam film in college, and there's 3 preseason games where he did play. So Sean Payton, last I heard, knows what he's doing.
Yes, Sean Payton, pretty good coach. I think he's got a Super Bowl ring to show for it.
And he's also rebuilt a team that was a disaster really quickly.
Right.
Really quickly.
They ate how much money on Russell Wilson? Like $60 million in dead cap,
to do it.
And turned him into a playoff team. So I don't have high hopes for the Titans winning the game on Sunday. But if you're in it and you give Cam Ward a chance to go down the field and, kick a game-tying field goal, get a game-winning touchdown, that's great. And I said this to TD, if you're 1-1 coming out of week 2, that is a miracle.
Yeah.
A miracle might be too.
No.
Straight. It is, you are thrilled at 1-1.
You're ahead of pace.
Right.
You're ahead of expectation. All right. Because you got 2 playoff teams, 2 good playoff teams with 2 good defenses.
Yep.
They spent the offseason making things as difficult as possible for Cam Ward, knowing what he was going to face the first 2 weeks.
Yep.
Saying, hey, you're not going to play Charleston Southern out of the gate here, Cam. All right. This is you have about as tough a scenario as you're going to face in the league this year, facing these 2 teams the first 2 weeks. We have got to have you ready. All right. As ready as we can be. And so you can joke or mock or whatever you want, whatever they did in the offseason. That's what it was. And I said this yesterday on the news. They spent the entire offseason making it as difficult as possible on him. Sunday, they need to find a way to make it as easy as possible.
Right. Give him the stuff he's comfortable with and see if he can keep you in the game.
Run the ball, protect him.
Right.
look, I'm going to tell you the one thing I don't want to see. I don't want to see 15 slip screens, draws. All right, because look, when you tell a defense they've only got to defend 5 to 10 yards of the field gets really small.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter that it's a safe play call. They're there.
Yep.
They're there. Okay. So I think you can't hide a quarterback. I don't think the Titans should hide Cam Ward. If they play the game and they don't win, that's fine. Play the game.
Yep. I think that's probably the right strategy. Lots of Tony Pollard and give Cam Ward the opportunities to make plays when he can.
Lots of Gunnar Helm and Chig Okonkwo over the middle.
Yeah.
I think, you wear those guys out until you can spring something, over the top with one of the 3 other guys.
I do have to say, if the Titans do win in week 1, that crowd and the pop when they announce Cam Ward next Sunday in Nissan Stadium might be the loudest that stadium's been outside of a playoff game.
Yeah, imagine if Cam throws for 220 and 3 scores and the Titans win the game
and
27-24.
They come back for his home debut. That place will be packed.
It's funny because we always talk about how nobody talks about the Titans nationally. That's all they will talk about.
Yep.
Is if they go there and win in dramatic fashion. And I say that. I mean, they're still going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys, but they will be a topic of conversation.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. Our phone line is driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Coming up next, the Titans release their week 1 unofficial depth chart. And for the most part, you can't take much from the unofficial depth chart. But you don't make a change like they made yesterday unless it means something. And we'll talk about it coming up next. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis from News 2, Parker Kelly, next man up, 1025 The Game. Later today on ESPN 94.9 The Fan, the Nashville Sounds take on the Norfolk Tides with first pitch at 5:35. Coverage also available on the Game Nashville app and at thegamenashville.com. Sounds baseball on ESPN 94.9 The Fan is presented by Twin Peaks and Family Leisure. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Titans released an unofficial depth chart yesterday for week one.
Why is it unofficial?
I guess it should be official at this point.
I mean, you released it. It's official. It's
came
from the team.
Right. I don't know why it is listed as the unofficial. Maybe because it's like this is subject to change.
Well, sure.
but
It's subject to change, and then it will officially change as well. But right now, you're telling us this is how it is.
It is true. Why is it the unofficial depth chart? Maybe during the preseason, I understand it.
Yes.
But like
No.
now.
No. I mean, is this an unofficial injury list we're going to get after practice? Because it's no.
I guess that one's mandated by the league. Is it mandated by the league to put a depth chart?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, they're putting it. Yeah, I don't know why the terminology is unofficial.
Maybe because they have the sports information department do it.
Right. But I don't think Brian Callahan is giving the sports information department the free range to just make Alec Iamander the starter over Van Jefferson.
That is definitely communicated.
Right. So when a change is made like that right before week one, it makes you think that they're going to put Alec Iamander out there and let him earn that number 2, number 3 spot for the Titans. And I like it. I mean, Van Jefferson, yeah, he looked good in that last preseason game.
Sure.
And I think he's a good depth option. But this year, when it's more about growth and seeing what you have for the future, I'd like to see as much Alec Iamander as you can possibly get out there.
What is Van Jefferson's contract?
1 year.
For how much money?
$2 million, $3 million.
I think 1.7.
Is that it?
Maybe? Yeah. So does that tell you he was signed to start for this football team?
Likely not.
Okay. So there we go. He was there to be a safety net.
Yep.
He is a proven NFL player, not a star, but a proven NFL player. And he is here, to play if they need him, but also until those 2 young guys are ready. And I mean, the plan, you're going to hear this a lot from me. The plan all along has been that Alec Iamander is going to play. Now, he had to prove that he was ready. Has he proven that? I don't know.
At times,
we all like what we see in a lot of regards, but they may think he needs the time in the game. Now, you also need the guy who gives your quarterback the best chance to develop as well. Also might be indicative that they plan to run the football because he's a big, strong guy.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So it's not surprising to me. I thought with Denver week 1, maybe they put it off a week or 2. Do I still expect to see Van in the game? Yeah, probably.
Right. You're playing more than 3 wide receivers during the game.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see, but it's not a huge surprise for me. It's a little surprising it happened in week 1.
Yeah.
But they like him, and this team's only got one way to go. They picked first. You can't pick 0.
That's true. Yeah. It can only, you could lose more games, but
you're still picking first.
Still would pick first.
Yeah.
There is nowhere relatively to go but up. For Alec Iamander, I heard Robbie say this on Robbie and Rex Road this morning, and saying that I think Titans fans are getting a little bit too excited about Alec Iamander.
Sure.
He is a 4th round pick for a reason, and you took 2 other pass catchers before you took him in the 4th round.
Yeah.
But
which shocked a lot of people because a lot of people thought he was the pick before.
Right. If you flip DK and Iamander, I think Titans fans would have reacted a lot better to those draft picks.
Yeah.
Because Titans fans, I don't think really knew a ton about Chim DK when they picked him.
What are you talking about? He scored a touchdown against Tennessee. They should have known all about him.
But I think Alec Iamander, when you take a guy in the 4th round, you're hoping to get a decent number 3 wide receiver.
Amon-Ra St. Brown?
The exception, not the rule.
Okay.
And I was thinking about it this morning. Like, what does he have to do to be one of the better wide receivers that have been drafted by the Titans in the last 10 years? Like
3 catches a game.
Right. I was thinking if he has a career like Tajay Sharp when he was here, like, is that kind of a...
No, that's not good enough.
Is it not good enough?
No.
Sharp was a 5th round pick.
Sharp played because he had to play.
But
they didn't have anybody else.
I may be missing somebody. in the last 10 years, when the Titans have picked a wide receiver in the draft, so not like free agents or
Yeah.
anything, is Tajay Sharp the third most productive receiver they've drafted behind AJ Brown and Corey Davis?
No, because they also had Kenny Britt and they also had
In the last 10 years.
okay. When
So since Dorial Green Beckham, we'll say.
So that was after Kendall
That was
Wright.
2015. Yeah, Wright was 2013.
Yeah, I mean they just haven't
2012?
drafted a ton of guys, have they?
Taywon Taylor, I think could maybe
that
put
was
in
a third,
that conversation.
third round
Third
pick.
round pick.
Oh yeah, so Corey Davis.
Corey Davis, AJ Brown,
Yeah.
for sure,
Yes.
obviously. But Tajay Sharp might be the third most productive receiver they've drafted in the last 10 years,
Yeah.
unless I'm completely missing somebody.
I'd have to have the list in front of me, but yeah,
I mean, because like obviously you have the ones that we know from the last couple of years:
Yeah,
Colton Dowell,
yeah.
Jaquan Jackson. Let's see, going back to 2015.
Rashard Matthews was not a draft pick; he was a free agent signing.
Yes. So
Um,
2015 they took Dorial Green Beckham
That's-
and Trey McBride.
Trey was a good special teams player.
Tajay Sharp was taken in 2016.
He had a good Senior Bowl.
Corey Davis, Taywon Taylor in 2017. I
Taywan
think
was a reach.
Taywon is probably the next closest after that. AJ Brown in 2019. Racy McMath in
Ugh.
2021. Des Fitzpatrick in 2021. Kyle Phillips in 2022.
Ugh.
Traylon Burks in 2022. Colton Dowell, Jaquan Jackson.
Yeah.
So
that's-
in order to become the third most productive
Wow.
receiver the Titans have drafted in the last 10 years, all Alec Iamaner has to do is be better than Taywon Taylor and Tajay Sharp.
I mean, you're setting the bar pretty low.
All I was saying is like, would a Tajay Sharp career
No,
be good enough?
no,
And I don't
it's
think
not
it
good
is.
enough.
But if
No.
he's better than Tajay Sharp, that's way better than the Titans have done on wide receivers in a
Again,
decade.
if he could catch 3 passes a game, that's 51 catches for the year.
Yeah,
If he can go 50 for 600 yards,
that I mean that's a big rookie year for him.
I would love that for him.
I
That
mean
would
that'd be the second most receiving yards the Titans had last year.
Yeah. Now, do I think he'll hit 50? Probably not.
No, I think you're probably more like
35.
35 to 40 for 400 to 450 yards, somewhere in there.
Now, I think Gunnar Helm could hit 50.
Yeah. And he's still listed as the number 2 tight end, but I think we're going to see a lot of them out there together. And honestly, because they're different types of players, like one can be number 1, one can be number 2, but based on the formation and the personnel, like they're probably both going to be on the field about the same amount.
All right. So I think we're both looking at like Chimere DK catching the least amount of passes.
Among the rookies.
I mean, and this is like as long as the receiving room kind of sits like it sits. I think we're looking at DK probably the 15 to 25 range.
Yes, but you hope his average per catch is
It's like 15
high.
plus.
Yes.
Yes. And then I think my expectation for Gunnar Helm would be over 35.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
More than 2 a game. And that's basing it on what I saw in camp and what I saw in preseason, because I was not sold when they drafted him.
Right.
I was like, okay, I like him, but he's had one big year. All right. He's come in, showed off the catch radius, very competitive to catch the football. There's a lot to like there. And so I think he's going to be a viable target for them. And so I'm putting him at 35 or more for me. And for Iamaner, I would love to see him hit 50. I'm also going to put him at 35 or more.
Yeah. I think if you could get 40 catches each from those 2 rookies, you feel really good about them heading into year 2.
Now we're saying that it's entirely possible that they're at 20 each.
Yeah.
So
I mean, how many rookies have come in here and you think that they're going to they're going to have a big first year and they end up kind of falling off a cliff? It happens almost all the time. So we will see if Iamaner can actually be a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 type production player as a rookie.
Yeah.
But that's where he's listed right now.
I'll tell you what, and this is not everything because there are plenty of guys in the NFL who do this. He looks the part. I mean, if you get a chance to see this guy in person, you're like, yeah, I mean, he's the only thing he's missing is a cape.
Right. He's big. He's fast.
He looks like one of the Avengers out there. But he's got to play. Now, we've seen competitive catches from him.
Yeah.
All right. When we've seen him catch the ball in the preseason, looks good with it in his hands.
Right.
Turns upfield, gets his shoulders down in front of him. There's a lot to see there, but it all steps up on Sunday. And there's There's going to be a ramp up for him. Now we say this, AJ Brown's first game at Cleveland. What happens?
Yeah, he had 3 catches, 100 yards.
Yeah, he
that game.
catches a crossing route, just goes.
Yep.
And you're like, whoa. And,
Yeah.
And from there, the Titans knew they had a guy.
AJ Brown did not waste much time to show that he was a dude. I mean,
yeah.
It was week 4 that year against Atlanta. I was in the building for that one, and he had 2 touchdown catches in that game.
Yeah.
He had the one long one, same thing, deep crosser,
corner.
and then he reached across. That was Marcus Mariota's final good game as a Titans quarterback.
Yeah, that was when Mike Vrabel decided to go for a touchdown instead of kicking a field goal that would give them a 3-possession lead.
Yes. Yeah.
And we were like, what are you doing?
They did win that game.
Yes.
And then the week after that was the Ravens 9-sack game.
Oh.
And then the week after that was when Marcus got benched in Denver. So, and then AFC Championship later that year. Who would have thought? 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Alec Ironman listed as a starter for the Titans heading into week 1. How many catches do you think he could have this year? Let us know on our text line, 615-737-1025. We'll wrap up hour number 1 after this. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 1025 The Game. Next man up, 1025, the game, wrapping up our first hour on this Wednesday. Plenty more to get to. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly. We'll get into some college football coming up next. We'll talk some Bill Belichick. Corey and I were talking a little bit during the break about the disaster in Chapel Hill on Monday night.
Look, they didn't lose. They got embarrassed.
Yeah,
and embarrassed on a bunch of different levels.
34 points.
Not just on the scoreboard, but on the PR front.
Yep.
And Belichick looks like, forgive me, this is going to sound bad, an old man doing things to make his young girlfriend happy.
Yeah. Seeing her on the sideline.
Oh my God.
Like during.
Are you kidding me?
Where else does that happen? Where girlfriend or wife is on the sideline trying to talk to the coach during a game.
I mean, no.
Did you see the balloon arch at his post-game press conference?
No.
So at his post-game press conference, somebody took a wide view angle, and it's got like the normal backdrop with the UNC and the sponsor, and over top is this balloon arch. And the one post I saw was Jordan's sorority did a great job on the balloon arch.
This is the NFL.
Yeah, I mean,
you get a banner. That's it. You get a banner.
He said he wanted to make it the 33rd NFL team. I think he's a long way away.
Okay, I haven't seen a single NFL team with a balloon arch.
The balloon arch, it made me giggle because
oh my gosh.
Where else does that happen? Like that's the issue is like you would think Bill Belichick would be
would wear the pants in the family?
Well, he'd be the last person to have any of this happening in his program.
Yes.
And it's just strange. It's like he's been brainwashed,
remember Anna Nicole Smith and the 85-year-old Texas oil man?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it looks like.
Well, and all the jokes were coming out on Monday night of when the score was 41-7. It was like, funny enough, that was Bill Belichick's age when Jordan Hudson was 7. I was like, yeah, you're actually way off on that.
Yeah, he was older.
It makes it even worse that actually that's not true.
That's horrible.
Brutal for Bill Belichick on Monday night. They have Charlotte coming up this week. You'd think that's a bounce back game, but who knows?
Joe Rexrow just texted and said that she was on the field, and that was during warmups.
Okay, it was during warmups. It looked like it was during the game.
Yeah, and so either way, would we? Okay, and so yes, it's not as bad. I fully acknowledge that.
Warmups is not as bad.
Would we still ever expect to see Bill with his girlfriend or wife on the field before the game? The guy who like can't be bothered to answer a single question ever. Or, everything is football all the time. And he's got a balloon arch. All right. So those two things, they're bad. So I put up the white flag and say, okay, misrepresented, still bad.
Yes. Much better if it was during warmups. And, I think maybe that video was taken out of context. But also, I saw UNC banned press box media from being on the field before the game. So another strange thing that
just girlfriends.
Maybe it came from Belichick. Yeah, just Jordan's allowed on the field, and Kirk Herbstreit and his dog. They're the only ones who are allowed down there.
Look, the NFL has tightened up on who is also on the sideline before games. So there's
maybe
there's a lot more
NFL
of that
type thing.
There's a lot more of that that's starting to go on. All these people that want to control their branding. All right. They're reining it in as much as they can so that where they have more exclusive, opportunities. And so you're seeing more and more of that. It's not surprising that Bill would want that.
Yeah. And that's true. Coming from an NFL background, he's going to have different philosophies and different standards than a lot of college coaches would have. It's just,
I've been known to say, if you're going to act like that, you better win. You better win.
Yep. Yeah. It's in terms of how bad that debut could have gone in all aspects on Monday night, I think it checked almost every box.
Yeah.
So we'll see if maybe it gets better.
Lots
of box checking.
Look,
from Bill Belichick.
I told you in the break that TCU could have scored 65 if they wanted to.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people in America who would have liked to have seen that.
Oh, for sure.
There's one sitting right here behind this mic.
Yes. When it got to 41-7, I turned it off.
Do you think Brady was doing shots?
Yeah.
Woo!
I mean, in terms of legacy, Bill Belichick, since Tom Brady left for Tampa
Oh.
Bay, has done nothing but hurt his.
Oh, yeah.
And all it does is keep pushing the
Yep.
Tom Brady GOAT conversation higher. Not that he needs it. He's got 7 Super Bowl rings, but
Look, Bill's definitely a part of it.
right. No.
But without Brady, you don't know if there's a single one.
Well, and Bill Belichick is a great coach, and he deserves a lot of credit for that. But he has hurt himself by not just riding off into the sunset.
He didn't do anything before Brady. He hasn't done anything after Brady. As I said, he was there for Brady. He shouldn't have to apologize for that. I am just simply going to say, without Brady, I don't think he has a Super Bowl ring. Brady has a Super Bowl ring without Bill.
You don't know. And Bill Belichick, it's tough because I think a lot of people are going to remember him for the disasters of Mac Jones and everything that happened with the Patriots after
he thought
Brady
he could win
left.
with anybody.
And now trying to pull it off in college.
Yep.
And if they go 1-11 this year,
wow,
like it's going to hurt his legacy big time. Does that mean he's not a Hall of Famer? No, like he is still going to go down as one of, if not the greatest NFL coach of all time. But I think a lot of people are going to remember him differently.
Well, I mean, I continue to say, take any roster. You can have any coach. Who's the first one you take in the NFL? I mean, I know he's not in the NFL now, but you can still take him. I'll give you.
Take Andy Reid.
You're saying, okay. Right now, you're going to take Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Right. I'll take Andy Reid. I'll take Sean McVay.
Maybe Sean Payton.
I mean, there's a lot of guys that I would take ahead of him. Not a lot of guys. There are guys.
But just based on what he's done lately. And I don't know if you could, I mean, it is a what have you done for me lately business.
I mean, Coach Walsh.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Coach Gibbs. Pretty good.
Sure.
Coach Gibbs won with a lot of different quarterbacks.
Yes, he did.
All right. And again, I'm not trying to say that Bill didn't win Super Bowls. He won Super Bowls. But I've got a lot of admiration for these coaches who didn't rely on one player to get it done for him. Andy Reid, I know he's only won a Super Bowl with Mahomes, but he has won with a lot of quarterbacks. A lot of quarterbacks who weren't that good.
Right.
And he got the most out of them. And again, like I said, Sean Payton did it down in New Orleans. He's done it. He's doing it in Denver. Sean McVay is fantastic. So
you can make an argument for all those guys. And Belichick, not a good start to his college career on Monday night. 9013 says UNC deserves all of this criticism. It's been a long time coming. Maybe this is their punishment for the fake majors and all that stuff. Maybe karma has come back to bite them, and they're just going to be an absolute mess for the next couple of years.
So the real quick story. You remember Billy Tubbs, legendary basketball coach at Oklahoma?
Might be beyond my time.
Okay, this is like the 80s.
Okay,
right? Back when they were wearing the really slick plaid jackets.
Okay.
And so they're playing Dean Smith in the NCAA tournament, and they lose. And they go to the post-game press conference, and Tubbs goes first. And he's wrapping up. Dean Smith's walking up to the podium. Billy Tubbs is walking out, just goes over his shoulder. North Carolina thinks the sun shines on its butt. He didn't say butt, though. And I just always love it because they do.
Yep.
They absolutely do. I covered Eddie Fogler for years. He coached South Carolina, and all I ever got to hear about was North Carolina. And they have more reverence for themselves than anybody you will ever meet.
Maybe it's all coming back around to bite them after all these years. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. We'll take your texts and calls. Our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We'll stay with college football here. New AP poll came out yesterday. How do we feel about the top 5 after week 1 and Bama falling after their loss to Florida State? We'll get into it coming up next. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 102.5 The Game. Next man up, 1025, The Game. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis from News 2, Parker Kelly with you, hour number 2, broadcasting live from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly BI membership, where the buzz is always about great service. It is NFL Eve. We are finally through the offseason. Tomorrow, Cowboys and Eagles kicks off the new NFL season. We'll get Chiefs and Chargers from Brazil on Friday. Titans getting ready for the Broncos on Sunday afternoon. We will get back into the NFL, but spending some time on college football. It was a big weekend of college football to start off the year, and we got our new AP Top 25 yesterday.
Shake up.
LSU, third after their big win over Clemson on the road. Ohio State, number 1. I think that one was easy.
Yep.
I don't know about Penn State being number 2. That's where they were. I thought maybe LSU should have gone over them just given the quality of opponent.
A lot of people still feel like Penn State has the best roster in America. Now, LSU spent, I think they have the second highest payroll.
Yeah.
To Texas Tech. Is that right?
That sounds, Texas Tech got all the oil money in there.
Yeah. So look, I mean, yes. I mean, you're talking 2 and 3.
Right. It does at this point in the season, it doesn't really matter.
Penn State didn't do anything to not look good.
Right. They won by 35 or something against Nevada.
Yeah. I mean, they put up points. So, and again, each team will get a chance to prove. And it really doesn't matter anymore. That's kind of the beauty of it. If you're 2 or 3, it doesn't matter anymore. You're going to the party. I know you're going to get to the rest of the list. What I like about this list is it didn't overly punish good teams who lost in good games.
Right. They put the 3 teams that lost top 10 games are all still in the top 10. Texas 7, Clemson 8, Notre Dame 9. So I think that's fair. It's like, you should drop below the teams that won. And, Oregon, they took care of business against Montana State. Georgia blew out Marshall. Penn State won their game. So they should stay where they are.
Yep.
But you didn't put Texas, Clemson, and Notre Dame behind, the next couple on the list. Like South Carolina, I thought looked good on Sunday against Virginia Tech.
Lenore Sellers is nice.
He's really good. He's is. Nice. And I'm excited for that Vandy, South Carolina game in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I think Vandy is going to go into Blacksburg this week and beat the Hokies, and you're going to have 2 undefeated teams facing off in Columbia in week 3.
That's an interesting game for Vanderbilt because Virginia Tech's got it circled.
Right. And
I was at Clark Lee's presser yesterday. He's an interesting man.
I saw that they were blaring Enter Sandman during practice yesterday. I thought that was pretty funny.
You talk about one guy who will be completely unfazed by that. Is Diego Pavia.
Right.
He'll just be like, yeah, turn it up.
Honestly, having been to, I can't even count how many Virginia Tech games. Most of the time, the opponent gets just as hype over it as the Hokies do. Like the opponent comes out fired up because of Enter Sandman.
Yeah.
And to be honest, Blacksburg hasn't been the toughest place to play in a very long time.
It can be a wonderful college environment.
It is. And if Tech goes up 10-0 early, that's when it gets tough because the Tech fans will be engaged.
That's what Clark talked about yesterday. Because I asked him about trying to wear them down with the depth on your defensive line. He's like, we got to get to the second half first.
Right.
He goes, if we're looking up and we're chasing in the first half, we're in trouble. He's like, that's not where we want to be.
Yes.
So look for Vanderbilt to go for it early to try to get on top.
Yes. I think if Vandy goes up by 2 scores in the first half, pretty much game over because the students will start leaving and, the atmosphere goes from one of the best to kind of mediocre in the second half if the Hokies aren't in it. But that'll be a fun one. Week 3 coming up. That game, Oregon, Penn State's that week. And then, of course,
that's huge.
Tennessee, Georgia is that weekend too.
Which you're feeling a little bit better about if you're Tennessee.
I will say this, and I know people out there know that, I work at Vanderbilt, so I keep my compliments of Tennessee very low. But I think they're underrated on this list.
Oh, they only went up 2 spots.
Right. I think they deserve a little more credit.
Look, they were much more aggressive than I expected them to be. I expected them to play that game close to the vest and grind it out, knowing, hey, we're just better than Syracuse. But they came out throwing.
Yep.
I mean, slinging it. But the really impressive thing for me with Joey Aguilar, number 1, the moment wasn't too big for him. But number 2, he allows Josh Heupel to play a fast-paced game, which is what he wants to do. So for the first time since Hendon Hooker, Heupel's able to call the game he wants to call. And that's going to make them better.
Yep.
I mean, it's one game, and so I try not to overreact to one game. But I saw more from Joey Aguilar in one game than I saw from Nico in a whole season last year.
Right.
And last I checked, Nico's opener at UCLA didn't go too well.
Did not.
So yeah, I agree with you. I was surprised Tennessee didn't move up more. They're 22, but as long as they keep winning, they will be just fine.
Yeah.
They'll get where they need to be if they win enough games.
It feels like the poll, and I know it's a poll, so it's not like it's aggregate of a lot of people's opinions, but they've got this second tier of SEC teams all in a row.
They have 10 teams from the SEC in the poll.
And I think the top 5, you feel pretty good. I mean, like Georgia, Texas, South Carolina, LSU, Florida, like those teams, I think you look at, and those are
Are we all sold on Florida?
Florida's iffy. The fact that they're 13 seems a little high for me. But I would put them above the next 5, who are all in a row again, 18 to 22.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, A&M, Ole Miss, Alabama, Tennessee.
Oklahoma being in there is shocking because they have not been good.
This is a big game this weekend for them.
Do you expect them to win?
Not really, no.
Okay, there you go.
It's in Norman, so I think that gives them the advantage, but I think Michigan.
I will say this: they don't win this game, the season spirals.
Yeah,
That's just my guess.
And you wonder if Venables is able to keep his job much longer after that.
Now they brought in the quarterback from Washington State, right?
Yes, John Mateer.
Did they bring the coach with him?
Yes, I think he brought the offensive coordinator
and QB coach.
Yes.
Okay.
So Mateer's good.
That's a desperate move, baby. That's like Jimbo Fisher bringing in.
Well, it's Clark Lee bringing in Diego Pavia and all of New Mexico State staff. Jerry Kill, Tim Beck, Eli Stowers. Like that's what they did, and it worked out for Vandy. So
yeah.
If John Mateer can just make his Venmo private, he'll be okay.
I've seen where John Mateer is like a leader in the Heisman chase.
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah.
And I think Oklahoma's got a shot this weekend, but I do think Michigan's a more talented team. And if our Big Ten homers are out there, if Michigan beats Oklahoma, that is not an indictment of the SEC because Michigan is a top 4 team in the Big Ten. Oklahoma is probably more like
you're right.
7 or 8.
Now it is in Oklahoma.
Right.
And I can guarantee you if Oklahoma wins, SEC fans are going to let the Big Ten have it.
Right.
So it just goes both
ways. It goes
Yeah,
back and forth. We were laughing yesterday at all of the Big Ten fans saying what a horrible weekend it was for the SEC. I'm like, they went 14-2 and beat 4 power conference teams.
Yeah.
They had 2 bad games.
They did have 2 bad games, but you're not accustomed to seeing them have 2 bad games. And it's not always the bad games, it's who had the bad games.
Right.
And when you see Alabama get pantsed,
it was your 2 highest profile brands who got beat and didn't look good.
Yeah. And that's that neither one of them looked particularly good. And that
if it wasn't for that late touchdown from Arch Manning for Texas, I think we might be talking about Texas as like, are they frauds having gotten shut out? And I think it's more to do with Ohio State's defense.
Well, we knew this was going to be a low-scoring game. That didn't surprise anybody. I did want to talk about Miami Notre Dame, which was a fun game to watch.
It was.
And I have been, banging on Carson Beck for a while. And so I do have to stand up and say he played pretty well.
He did.
Now, he had a receiver make some plays for him. But he gave him an opportunity to make plays for him.
That touchdown pass is likely an interception.
Yes.
In most instances, but he made a ridiculous catch.
Yep. But Carson Beck played better than I expected to see him play. I think Mario Cristobal, and I know another coach that people like to kind of get after, but I thought his line play on both sides was better than it's been in recent years. They were more physical. They were more built to slug it out a little bit.
That defensive line for Miami.
Yeah.
Whew.
And I thought Notre Dame came out. What did I talk about with the Titans? You can't throw 50 slip screens and stuff.
Yeah.
And if CJ Carr's your quarterback, let him play.
And Jeremiah Love had 10 carries
the
whole game? It's like you got a Heisman candidate running back. Give him the football.
Yeah. There was a lot to me that was questionable about the Notre Dame attack on offense. Thought they needed to throw the ball down the field a little bit more. And obviously get Love more involved. But that's not a loss that'll kill Notre Dame. Now they can't afford. Last year they opened with a loss to Northern Illinois,
right?
And then
they figured it out,
and then they made it all the way to the championship game,
right?
So yeah,
I think Notre Dame will be fine, but it does show you that Miami
Yeah.
They may be legit this year.
Yeah,
And
we've been waiting for it.
right.
We've really been waiting for it.
Is the U back is the question, and maybe this year we'll see. Their schedule is not all that tough, I don't think.
Well, they're still in the ACC, right?
Right.
Okay,
So,
then
well,
there you
I
go.
mean, in terms of the ACC, I don't know if they play anybody.
I mean,
who-
they got Wake on the schedule.
they play. They do
Here
play.
comes Boston College.
They do play Florida and Florida State back to back,
Okay.
and South Florida in a 3-game stretch.
Oh.
So it's like those 3 teams all looked decent this week.
I think there's a lot of people wondering what Florida State is right now.
Yeah. Was that a sign of things to come?
I mean, are they
or-
that good?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Maybe.
We don't know. I don't
maybe
know.
they went from 2 wins to national title contender in 1 year, which would be incredible.
Well, they went from national title contender to 2 wins in 1 year.
Yes,
so
they
I
did.
guess they can go
So-
vice versa. They play Florida State October 4th. After that game, Louisville's pretty good. But after that, the only ranked team left on their schedule is SMU. They don't have to play Clemson. So Miami, as long as they get to, 10 wins, I think you'd feel decent about their playoff chances.
Yeah.
As long as the losses are to like
That-
Florida and
That's not good for the ACC, by the way, for Clemson and
Miami not to play.
don't play.
Yeah.
Because look, the winner of that game has to step forward in getting into the playoffs, whether they
Right.
win the league or not.
That is true.
and not having that game does not help you.
And Clemson needs the data points of
Yeah.
like,
Beating Wake isn't going to do it
Right.
for them. Beating Syracuse isn't going to do it for them.
right. 9013 asks, how can DeBoer be so successful at one place and so
That's- yeah.
unsuccessful at another? We'll get into that coming up next. Alabama fell from number 8 in the poll all the way down to number 21. We'll talk about the Crimson Tide's tough day after this. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis from News 2, Parker Kelly here on Next Man Up 102.5 The Game. This week, Vanderbilt travels to Blacksburg to take on Virginia Tech on Saturday. Pregame is at 5 o'clock. Kickoff is at 6:30. Vanderbilt football is brought to you by Gary Force Acura and Smoky Mountain Tops. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 102.5 The Game. We're talking college football. It was an interesting week, to say the least, to start off the college football season. 9013 on our text line asks, how can DeBoer be so successful at one place and so unsuccessful at another? And we were just having that conversation off the air of, this is a guy who's won everywhere he's gone.
Yeah.
I'm looking at his head coaching record, 113-17 during his stops at Sioux Falls, a D3 school, Fresno State, Washington, and Alabama. But he's now 5-5 in his last 10 games at Alabama. And Alabama fans are ready to run him out the door already.
I get it. But I mean, we all know Kalen DeBoer is a good football coach.
Right. He didn't just forget how to coach football overnight.
But there is something there getting in his way. Now, is it him getting in his way? Is it alumni? Is it boosters getting in his way?
Yeah.
I mean, is it the shadow of Nick Saban that he just has a hard time commanding the respect of the players?
Yeah.
Because he's not Nick Saban. I mean, this is just me searching for answers, because he is way too good of a football coach to be 5-5 at Alabama. Fresno is not an easy place to go win games. He did it.
Yep.
Immediately. You know, Washington has a rich history, but he took Washington over and took them to where?
The national championship game.
Boom. I mean, he's a good coach. He coached good players. His division, he had round 1 draft picks at Washington. He can coach good players. What the hell is going on?
It makes no sense why they've been so bad, and it does feel like it's a coaching issue, because it doesn't look like a Nick Saban coach team, because it's not. Like they're getting unsportsmanlike conduct penalties after the play, personal fouls. They're getting blown off the ball on both fronts. Like it does not look like Alabama.
No.
And you got Georgia coming up in 3 weeks. You're probably going to lose that game. Like, I mean, that's just how it is. It's like you got the talent to play with them, but Georgia is a better coach team at this point, and I think a lot of people would pick Georgia. Then Vanderbilt comes in.
I think it'd be crazy not to pick Georgia at this point.
Right. Based on what we've seen, you're 2-2 at that point and playing Vanderbilt. Like me and Parker said this yesterday, like if he loses to Vanderbilt again, I don't think he has a job on Sunday. And that's not because Vanderbilt's not a good team, but the reaction from the fans of losing being 0-2 against Vanderbilt, losing at home to Vanderbilt, and being 2-3 on the season.
Well, Diego Pavia is undefeated against the state of Alabama.
He is. I mean,
3-0.
Hugh Freeze knows exactly what Diego Pavia can do to Alabama schools. Adam in Portland asked, what would Saban's record be the last 10 games? Let's see. I mean, I think Saban wins that game on Saturday. Maybe not. Florida State played a good game. Thomas Castellanos played a good game. I mean, I think the Vanderbilt game, you could argue that Saban probably wins that one. Tennessee was a close game, but, you know, Saban lost to Tennessee the last time he was in Knoxville too. So let's say he loses that one. You don't lose to Oklahoma 24-3 with Nick Saban, I don't think, last year. And the Michigan game and the bowl game.
That was not a good Oklahoma team.
I would say that, you know, Saban probably has 2 losses tops in the last 10 games. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was a player issue, but I don't know. I can't see Kalen. I saw the stat of Kalen DeBoer has now lost 4 games to unranked teams.
Yeah.
And it took Nick Saban like 8 years or something like that, or more than that, to lose 4 games to unranked teams.
You know, you always know when you transition from legendary coach to another coach, there's going to be probably a hiccup in the transition somewhere. I just look, if they had promoted a coordinator, you know, say, hey, this guy, everybody in the country wants, you could say, okay, he was unproven. Kalen DeBoer is proven.
Yeah.
Kalen DeBoer is proven. Now, not every coach is right for every job. We've seen that. We've seen coaches like Rich Rodriguez.
Right.
Hugely
great at West
successful.
Virginia.
And Arizona.
Yep.
Right.
And then goes to Michigan, and it didn't work out.
Yeah. Alabama.
Yeah. I mean,
Didn't work out.
I don't know if DeBoer is going to get through this season based on what we've seen, and that may be unfair, but it's just
It's
that's why everybody turned that job down. Why no one
well,
wanted to interview
I mean,
for
look,
it.
I think he's 2 losses from getting fired.
Yeah.
If he loses 2 more games this year, if he goes 9-3, they're probably going to fire him.
Which is crazy because any other school in the country,
Yeah.
back-to-back 9-3 seasons, they might start building you a statue.
Yeah, but I mean, like, who's left on their schedule? You said they've got Georgia.
They've got Georgia, then Alabama.
No, they are Alabama.
Or sorry, excuse me. Alabama plays Vanderbilt.
Okay.
Trying to multitask here. So they got Vanderbilt the first weekend in October. Then they've got Missouri.
Is that
on
what
the
we're
road.
doing now? Vanderbilt to Alabama, it's got its own date now.
Does.
First week in
First
October.
First Saturday in October, Alabama, Vanderbilt. Tennessee
Okay.
on October 18th. South Carolina, October 25th. LSU, November 8th.
Okay.
Oklahoma, November 15th. Eastern Illinois, and then Iron Bowl to end the season.
All right. So I would say Georgia, LSU, and Auburn.
South Carolina, Tennessee, too.
Yeah, I mean,
think you could put in there.
Yes. I mean, they're fully capable of losing those games. But Georgia, LSU, I think right now he's going to be expected to lose both. Right?
Yeah. I would say Georgia, LSU. So that gets you to 3 losses.
So he loses both those games. All right. And wins the rest. I don't know that beating South Carolina and Tennessee is enough for Bama fans to say we want more.
Yeah. I can see that if they lose both those games, it might be enough. But I think you can surely say if he loses Georgia, LSU, Tennessee.
Oh, if he loses 4 games?
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
which is,
Okay, I got another coach for you. Brett Bielema.
Yeah.
Hugely successful at Wisconsin.
Right.
Goes to Arkansas, and it's a disaster. And he's at Illinois, and they're knocking on the door of the top 10. And this is Illinois.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm from Illinois. I didn't go to Illinois, but I'm from Illinois. I am fully accustomed to Illinois being terrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's got him 11th in the country.
He moved in and immediately put him in the top 25. But he forgot how to coach at Arkansas?
Yeah.
What happened?
I think DeBoer is going to be out the door by the end of this year.
I agree.
And I think he's going to go somewhere else and be successful.
I agree.
But, Alabama's not a fit for everybody. And I said this yesterday. I think there will be a line out the door to take that Alabama job.
Now that
there's the buffer from Saban. And all you have to do is be better than DeBoer.
Wow. I got a name for you. Lane Kiffin.
Lane Kiffin. That's the easy one, right? Like, and he would take that job in a heartbeat. I think.
I'm sure he would.
The other one would be Dan Lanning. I think they would make a run after.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He seems like he likes Oregon.
He's got a good thing.
Right. And he kind of
Kalen DeBoer had a good thing.
Right. And I bet he regrets leaving now.
Maybe.
9355 says, we just had the conversation of Belichick not being great without Brady. Is it possible DeBoer isn't as good without Penix, especially in the SEC? But he won other places too.
Yeah.
I get that those places aren't Alabama. Sometimes I think maybe the SEC just isn't a fit for every coach.
Yeah.
And
well, again, you don't know where the pressures are coming from.
Yeah.
And you don't know how many hands are in the pot.
Right. There's always stuff going on behind the scenes. And I'm sure we'll find out more once his tenure is over. But it's not.
I would love to. I think Brett Bielema is absolutely the guy to talk to,
right,
and say what's going on.
Yeah,
you went through this at Arkansas. You didn't forget how to coach.
Why is DeBoer struggling?
And he's not in the SEC. I think he'd be.
I bet he'd have a good answer.
And he's pretty straight shooter. Last I checked.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. Our phone line is driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Big weekend of college football. We got a lot of big data points. Texas, Ohio State, LSU, Clemson. Alabama loses to Florida State. Not as much of a huge weekend this weekend. Michigan, Oklahoma. That's where game day will be.
First weekend in September.
Right.
Vandy, Virginia Tech.
You throw out the records when these two teams play each other. Next weekend, I believe, is going to be the big one. Is that I mentioned Penn State, Oregon, I think is next week. Tennessee, Georgia, and Vandy, South Carolina. Could be a battle of two undefeated teams in Columbia.
Just think if you're Vanderbilt and you're Clark Lee, and if these are big ifs, you win at Virginia Tech, and then you would not South Carolina is a top 10 team. If you were to knock off a 10th ranked, 9th ranked South Carolina team and get to 3-0, you're ranked.
Yep. And you've got Georgia State and Utah State the next 2 weeks before you go to Alabama.
And you've got Diego Pavia. So
Right.
it is game day.
Excuse me. Oregon Penn State is not that weekend.
Okay.
Georgia Tennessee is. There was one other big game that weekend that I'm forgetting. Oh, LSU Florida is that weekend. That was and Notre Dame Texas A&M. So yes, no Oregon Penn State, but a lot of good ones.
That LSU Florida game's a big one because Brian Kelly's got to prove that the Clemson game wasn't a fluke right out of the gates because that's the first opener he's won there.
Right.
And Florida says they're different this year. All right. I realize they beat Long Island University and I commend them for scheduling such a mighty opponent out of the gate, but LSU will be tougher.
Yes.
I'm confident of that.
I was thinking of week 5, Oregon, Penn State, Alabama, Georgia is that weekend, along with LSU Ole Miss. So we got a couple of big weekends coming up, but week 3, the big game obviously is Tennessee and Georgia. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. We'll get back to the NFL. It is NFL Eve. We've got Cowboys and Eagles tomorrow. What are some of the biggest storylines heading into the NFL season? We'll get into it next. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up. 102.5 The Game. Tune in for the NFL Game of the Week on ESPN 1025 The Game as the Dallas Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles tomorrow night at 7:20. NFL Game of the Week is presented by Circus Sportsbook Kentucky and Macero in 12 South. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up 1025 The Game. That is right. We are just over 24 hours away from the NFL being back. Cowboys and Eagles kick it off tomorrow. And on NFL Eve, figured it's a good time to go through some of the biggest storylines heading into the season. We can start with the NFC. The Eagles feel like the head and shoulders favorite in that league. There are a lot of teams that are close. I think the Packers put themselves in that conversation with the Micah Parsons trade.
Yes.
The Lions, they won 15 games last year. They can't be counted out.
2 new coordinators, 2 new offensive linemen.
Right.
Give you pause.
It makes you think they're going to take a step back, especially winning 15 games is not easy to do in the NFL.
No, I mean, for me, do I still think the Lions are a good team? Yes. Do they have to prove to me that they are still elite? Yes, they do.
Yep. The Rams in the NFC West,
Yeah.
they were the team that gave the Eagles the most trouble in the playoffs last year. But Matthew Stafford, I know Sean McVay said he's ready to go for week 1, but there's a lot of questions about,
Let's get out the duct tape.
yeah, like is that back going to hold up throughout the entire season?
The defensive line will.
Right.
All right.
I think the defense keeps them in games.
Yes.
But if you have to go to Jimmy Garoppolo for a large portion of the
Yes.
season,
they've got Kyron Williams, they've got Puka, they've got
Devontae Adams.
They got Devontae Adams, who doesn't have to be the guy.
Yep.
Who's the tight end?
Is it Higbee still?
Yeah, Higbee. Higbee's a good player.
They also have Terrence Ferguson, second round pick
Yes,
from Oregon.
Oh,
That's
right. Yeah.
Yeah, they did. They added to the tight end room. So I like the weapons there. And like I said, Sean McVay's a great coach.
Yep.
I debated picking the Rams for the Super Bowl. But the Stafford situation is what made me say I can't jump on that limb.
You can count on the Rams at least being in the playoff mix pretty much no matter what.
They are definitely my NFC West winner.
Because of the defense and the coaching. The 49ers are kind of a wild card because they still have a lot of talent.
Yeah, but Kittle's going to be 32.
And he's
Ayuk's on pup. Christian McCaffrey's had 1 billion touches.
Right. And with the way the wide receiver room looks, if Ricky Pearsall doesn't take a big step, then Kittle and McCaffrey have to be the focal point. And I just don't know if you can.
I know Jawan
count
Jennings
on them.
from Blackman High School here just returned to practice this week.
Right. He requested a trade.
Oh, did he really?
No,
he just got paid.
No, sorry. Kendrick Bourne requested a trade. I was mixing up.
Kendrick Bourne just got released by the Patriots.
He did. You're right. Who am I thinking of?
Oh, that's
then?
right. No,
somebody requested a trade.
because Kendrick Bourne, I think, said he didn't want to be there anymore.
Right. Okay. So they granted him his release.
Yes. And I don't think anybody's run to the altar to marry Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah. Jawan Jennings did request a trade a while ago, but
then he got paid.
They said they moved on and they brought him back. So yeah.
Well, he got paid.
Right.
Yeah.
So Jawan Jennings back at practice. But if your wide receiver room, the top of it is Ricky Pearsall and Jawan Jennings, is that good enough?
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair.
So they're a wild card. The Seahawks, I don't know what they're going to be with Sam Darnold at quarterback.
I mean, look, for a long time it was Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and now
they're all gone.
And now all of a sudden we're going Sam Darnold and
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah, and the remnants of Cooper Kupp.
Right. Yeah, Cooper Kupp making the trip up the coast there back into his the state where he played his college football. In the NFC East, I think that's where a lot of the question marks come. The Giants aren't going to be very good. We can put them to
their defensive line is really good.
Yes.
It is.
But is Malik Neighbors is a really good player too.
Yeah.
But outside of that, there's not a whole lot of redeeming qualities with the Giants. The Commanders are the big wild card in the NFC for me because I think you kind of know where teams are going to slot in. I think the Commanders, if Jaden Daniels takes a big step, they could easily be back in the NFC Championship game. But we saw this last year with CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
That it's not as easy to just maintain that upward trajectory in year 2.
Well, I saw also people talking about, somebody put on Twitter, who will be the better quarterback the next 5 years, Bo Nix or Joe Burrow? And I'm like, Bo Nix had a nice rookie year. Joe Burrow's elite.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's have Bo Nix do it more than 1 year. And I like Bo Nix. I'm not criticizing him, but I'm saying you're discrediting how good Joe Burrow is.
Yes.
And so yes, it's to your point, CJ Stroud had an electric rookie year.
People are talking about him as a top 5 quarterback heading into last year.
Sure. But this shows you it's hard.
Yes.
It shows you it's hard. And so I think a lot of people careered last year for Washington. It doesn't mean I don't think they're a playoff team, because I think they probably are, but I do expect them to take a bit of a step back.
Yeah.
They had a lot of things go right for them last year. It all started with the Hail Mary against Chicago. And so we'll see if they can keep riding that wave. I wouldn't be surprised to see them at 10-7 in that.
I mean,
ballpark.
that's exactly what the Texans were last year. And
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the ball. They did bring in some talent. Like they traded for Laramie Tunsil from the Texans, and they drafted out of Oregon, Connerly,
Okay.
another tackle in the first round. So they tried to shore up the offensive line, brought in Deebo Samuel. I don't like that doesn't move the needle all that much for me, but they did at least try an upgrade around Jaden Daniels. We'll see if it was enough to keep them in that NFC championship conversation.
You're still relying on Austin Eckler and God, what's the running back's name? He's got 3 names.
Bill. Ja'Cory Krosky
Yes.
Merritt,
Yeah.
who
he's not one of my fantasy teams.
He affectionately goes by Bill.
But so Bill is very unproven, and just once again proof that how disposable that position, can really
Brian
be.
Robinson was their starter, and they said, we'll ship him off because we drafted a 7th round guy.
Yeah, I mean, who else do they have with the receiver?
Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
They drafted Jalen Lane out of Virginia Tech, who I've heard has had a good camp, but that's all I kind of know about him. So
no wonder McLaurin held out.
Right. They need him.
Yeah.
If they're gonna sniff the NFC Championship game again, you've got to have Terry McLaurin in that offense. So
I just always feel like when guys hold out too and come back late, it never seems to really end well.
It's true.
Although Emmett came back when the Cowboys were 0-2 and they went to the Super Bowl. So.
It was that Charles Haley punching a hole through the wall or something like that in the locker room. I think I've heard Chase tell that story on their show. 615-737-1025. The NFC feels it's pretty wide open. Like the Eagles are the favorite, but there's
like if the Eagles or the Packers or the Lions or the Rams went to the Super Bowl, I don't think
anyone would be shocked. And there's I mean, I think the 49ers,
Washington,
the Commanders, the Bucks and Falcons, I think like they're going to fight for the NFC
Bucks.
South.
Look, the Bucks are another one.
The Bucks I think could be in that tier with the Commanders and the Niners.
But look, I like the Bucks. I mean, I like Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
I like the pick of Emeka Egbuka, because those receivers aren't getting younger.
Yeah,
and
Chris Godwin already hurt.
And now you bring in a guy who's just a stud. And so, I mean, I think Baker could have another 4,000-yard season. And Todd Bowles knows how to coach defense. And as long as Vita Vea is there, it's a problem. And they're in a weak division. They could pile up victories.
For sure.
They went 0-2 against the Falcons last year.
And still won the division.
Yeah.
So
and what were they, 10-7?
10-7.
I mean, so if they had actually taken care of business against the Falcons, you're looking at a 12-win team.
Right. So I think they're kind of in that tier. And then the Vikings and Bears are kind of in the unknown of like, is the quarterback the guy?
Look, if JJ McCarthy's the guy,
that roster's good enough to be a playoff team.
Yeah, absolutely. And how much can Ben Johnson recoach this team after the disaster that Matt Eberflus was?
Yeah.
I mean, it was not good. I mean, believe me, I know it was not good. And so I'm looking at, the Bears will be better. They will be better, but they're in the toughest division in football.
I think the only teams that you really look at and say they're not a playoff team in the NFC are probably the Saints, Giants, Panthers,
Cowboys.
Yeah, Cowboys, I think you'd put in there. And then the Cardinals, I would probably.
I think there's a lot of people who have the Cardinals knocking on the door.
The Cardinals might be in that same kind of tier with the Seahawks. And so, I think it's really 12 teams feel like they could be in the playoffs this year in the NFC. It's going to be.
Well, look, Washington is just the great message to everyone. You don't know.
Yep.
You don't know. You think you know. You don't know.
Somebody always comes out of nowhere to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
so
they make a run.
We'll see. But the NFC seems wide open. The AFC, as it always is all about the quarterbacks. We will look at if anybody can challenge Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs and get to the Super Bowl this year. We'll do that next. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 102.5 The Game. Next man up, 1025. The game finishing up hour number 2 on this Wednesday. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis from News 2, Parker Kelly with you, going through some of the big storylines around the NFL as we are just one day away from the new NFL season. Eagles putting up a banner tomorrow as they take on the
The
Cowboys.
team will not be out there.
They will
for
not.
it.
Yeah, Nick Sirianni said he didn't even know it was banner night. I'm like, that's the point of you guys playing on this Thursday night. So they will not be out there.
You want to keep the guys focused
Right.
on the task at hand.
The season is over
As
at this
hokey
point.
as that sounds, I kind of get it.
Yeah. So the Eagles, Cowboys tomorrow, Chiefs and Chargers from Brazil on Friday.
Jerry hit the Botox big time. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we got Get Up on here in studio.
His face looks like a mop, but his forehead looks like a dance floor.
Yes, it does. Not a single wrinkle on the forehead of Jerry Jones. Talking about the Micah Parsons trade.
He's a genius.
He is. And, honestly, since it happened, the back stuff coming out with Micah Parsons, I still think it's a bad trade, but who knows?
Well, I look, he's talking about having 4 to 6 players for what he got, Micah, and I agree with that. And you can't pay everybody.
Yeah.
The problem he fell into, he overpaid Dak.
Yeah.
And when he overpaid Dak, it precluded him from signing Micah. And Micah Parsons, Khalil Max, these guys don't grow on trees. They just don't.
Yep.
They're rare.
A pass rusher like that is, I think, second most valuable only to a quarterback.
Yeah.
And people were comparing this to the Luka trade, and I get it because it's the same city, and it's tough if you had told a Dallas fan in January, hey, neither of these guys are going to be on your team by September. I don't think they would have been very happy with you. But Luka, the NBA is such a star-driven league where it's one player can change your franchise and make you a playoff contender. That Micah Parsons can't win a Super Bowl all on his own, but he certainly helps.
He's on a good team now.
So now he's on the Packers, and I think they've put themselves into the second or third best chances to go win the NFC.
I picked them to go play in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
And that really pains me.
In the AFC, the Chiefs, I'm at the point of I don't think I can pick anybody but the Chiefs until they prove that they can be beat. And I know the Bengals got them the 1 year, but basically since Patrick Mahomes has been in the league, if you're not Tom Brady, you're not beating him in the AFC playoffs.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow beat him once.
But Joe Burrow's record against the Chiefs is pretty good.
Yeah, well, so is Josh Allen's in the regular season.
Yes.
So
the playoffs is different, and you're right. To be the man, you got to beat the man.
Yeah.
Now, there are people going, it's the Bills' year. I'm saying it's the Ravens' year, and if it's not the Bills' year and it's not the Ravens' year, it's just never going to be the year for either of those teams.
Yeah, you look at the Chiefs roster, and it's just it's not inspiring.
No, and Rashid Rice is suspended for 6 weeks.
Yeah, the offensive line is okay. The weapons are okay. The defense is good.
Look, Pacheco, does he do anything for you? He's just a guy.
He looks like he's running
They
really
brought
hard.
back
He just doesn't
Clyde
go
Edwards-Helaire. All right? They're not impressive back there.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt is just a guy. All right? Juju Smith-Schuster is still slow.
Yep.
He is still slow.
Xavier Worthy is fast, but is he a complete wide receiver? I think that'll be something we find out this year.
You know what? If I own Xavier Worthy in fantasy football, I'm loving it because I would be, if I were the Chiefs, I would be force feeding him the football.
Who else is he going to throw to?
Well, yeah, he can run.
Yeah,
he can run. He can make plays. They need to find multiple ways to get him the ball. They still have Chris Jones on defense.
They still have Nick Bolton, who's a really good linebacker. Trent McDuffie's a good cornerback. They've got
and they can coach defense.
Right. They've got a good defense. They've got a great defensive coordinator. They've got a great head coach. So, again, until somebody beats them, I don't know if you can pick against them.
But I am.
But it is right. You look at the other teams with good quarterbacks, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Those teams, I think, are better. But if it comes down to it and it's an AFC championship day, Sunday, and it's Patrick Mahomes against anybody right now, I have a hard time picking against Patrick Mahomes.
To me, the difference between the Bills and the Ravens with Lamar and Josh, both phenomenal MVP level quarterbacks. But in the playoffs, I think you have to say that Josh has played better than Lamar has.
I mean, Josh Allen got them, was it, 13 seconds away
Yeah, I mean,
from
Josh
beating
Allen
Mahomes?
hasn't done anything in the playoffs to say he didn't show up. I mean, he has shown up. He's been there for his team.
The quarterbacks who have beaten Josh Allen in the playoffs? It's Mahomes 4 times now,
Okay.
and Burrow got him once.
Okay. Those
I think
pretty
that's
good ones.
it.
Yeah. And
For
so
Lamar, Lamar beat Ryan Tannehill, and he's beaten C.J. Stroud. I think those are his only playoff wins.
So with the Bills, they need Joey Bosa to stay healthy, which is something he has not been able to do. But that's a big addition for them if he can be that guy. Because the defense, clearly, while it's been good in the playoffs, it hasn't come up with the stop that it had to have.
Yeah.
And because you're confident Josh Allen will give you what it takes. Now, their receiving core isn't sexy.
Questionable. Yeah. Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman.
And
They brought in, is Curtis Samuel still there?
I don't know. There's one other guy. I'm forgetting his name now, but I remember just looking at this the other day going,
Let's
that's
see. Bills wide receivers. Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman. They signed Josh Palmer.
That's right. Josh Palmer.
Curtis Samuel is still there.
I like Josh Palmer. And as a 3, he's fine.
But like Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman is your 1 and 2.
Yeah. Well, Coleman, the big thing is Shakir is Shakir.
He's a fine number 2.
But he's a good little slot.
Yeah.
Coleman's got to take a step up.
For sure.
He had an okay rookie year, and he needs to have a big second year. He needs to be the guy. He needs to show that he's the guy. Now, he had games last year where he didn't have a single catch. Okay. That won't work this year.
No.
Okay. So they are relying on him to be the guy, and we'll see if he can. Now, the guy we haven't talked about is the guy who I think is going to be the guy in the passing game, Dalton Kincaid.
Yes.
Dalton Kincaid was hurt last year, and I think there's a lot of people writing off Dalton Kincaid because he was down last year.
I'm buying stock in Dalton Kincaid.
I own him on both my fantasy teams. All right. He's my backup on both my fantasy teams, and I'm really excited about it because he's a potential flex. I wouldn't be surprised to see Dalton Kincaid catch 68 to 80 passes this year. I think he can be that guy.
I think that's what they're counting on, and that's why they didn't make a big move in the wide receiver market. They did bring in Joey Bosa on the defensive side, which Joey Bosa is not Joey Bosa of 5 years ago, but it's still
he's always hurt.
Right. If he can stay healthy, I think the Bills are going to be right in the thick of things again. Yeah. It's all about that one Sunday in January. Can you beat Mahomes?
Let me ask you this. This is not about a playoff team. Miami Dolphins. I'm really down on them.
Me too.
And I got people telling me I'm crazy. But what am I supposed to be excited about?
Yeah, I would not be shocked if the Dolphins bottom out this year. Not like top 5 pick, but
I think coach is getting fired after this year.
McDaniel's gone. I think Tua's gone after this year.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. We're thinking 5 quarterbacks in the draft. They may start over. And I think they probably should.
I think that team, as it's constructed with Tyreek and Tua, and Waddle can be a part of the next window, but that group as constructed hit its ceiling.
Well, Jalen's gone.
Right. I'm not a huge fan.
Before we go to break, I want to ask you, there was a story that came out the other day about a GM or some executive talking about teams just paying guys at quarterback who shouldn't get paid.
Yeah.
And that, Jordan Love was the name that came up.
Trevor
Lawrence. And if we have a chance, I want to talk about that.
Let's do it coming up next.
All right.
We got time.
I'm probably going to say something that most people don't agree with.
Okay.
All right. And so we'll see.
Let's do that coming up next. Jake Lyman and Corey Curtis with you on this Wednesday, wrapping up hour number 2. Coming up next, we'll get into that, talk about some quarterbacks who are just getting paid to be average. And also, I mentioned earlier, ESPN put out an article. I'm not really sure what the point of this article was, probably just to get clicks. But they picked one simulation from their 10,000 FPI simulations, and it has the Titans in an interesting spot. We'll talk about it coming up in this final hour. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 102.5 The Game. Final hour Wednesday edition. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis from News 2 with us for the full show. Parker Kelly on the ones and twos. We are broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Going to get into this ESPN article in this final hour that has one simulation from their 10,000 FPI. We'll talk about where the Titans end up in that. But Corey, you had thoughts on some of these quarterbacks around the NFL where it always feels like there's these guys who they're good enough that the team is worried about not being able to find a replacement.
Good enough to get you fired,
and they're
right?
like, all right, well, let's give them $50 million.
Yeah, I mean, like Trevor Lawrence is the first overall pick of the draft. Gets a ridiculous deal. All right. And I mean, shoot, they named the stadium after him at that point. I mean, come on.
If he was not the generational talent, I don't know if what he did in his first 4 years would have warranted a second contract, but it's like you just keep waiting for the talent to win out.
Okay, so he's in this category. Tua is in this category. He got a second deal.
Dak Prescott.
Let me say, I like Dak Prescott.
Me too.
I like him. He has thrown for a ton of yards. What has he done in the playoffs?
For sure. And in Dallas, that's what matters.
No.
Well, everywhere.
In the NFL.
Like in Dallas, that's
matters.
what they care about.
What is the point of the NFL?
To win the Super Bowl.
Thank you very much. All right. So if I know people say some NFL, it was the guy who writes for the 33rd team, the guy who started that up, the former PFF guy.
Yes. He
wrote, well, what would you tell these teams to do? And I tweeted right back at him, keep looking.
Yeah.
Keep looking. Because if he is not the guy to win you the Super Bowl, don't give him the money.
Yeah.
Move on. Look, you signed up for a hard job. And part of a hard job is making hard decisions. And we can bang on Jerry Jones all we want. He made a hard decision because he thought it was best for his football team. All right. But the reason he's in that spot
because he paid Dak
$60 million a year. How many playoff wins does Dak have?
One.
Does he have one or none?
I believe he won one.
He won one? Okay.
I think he beat the Seahawks in like 2018.
All right. Congratulations. All right. That's not enough.
No, I know.
That's like Mike Vrabel saying he had deserved to be the GM of the team as well because he had done enough.
I'm surprised that what I meant to say with like in Dallas, that's what matters. Like the patience runs thin in Dallas because that's the expectation every year.
Look, I'm not saying I wouldn't pay these guys, but I would not let them hamstring me and hold me up in negotiations. I would say, this is the number we're comfortable at meeting. We will build in these incentives for you if you get it done in the postseason. And if that's not good, you can go somewhere else. All right. But you haven't done it to this point. I think Tua, you've got major injury concerns to gamble your future on with a contract that hamstrings you and what else you can do with the rest of your football team. And so they're hard decisions. And they're probably not going to be popular with some people because, shoot, there are people who are willing to die on the ledge for Shedeur Sanders. And he hasn't even played a down in the NFL yet.
Yeah.
All right. And so, if you let Dak Prescott walk, you're going to get crucified. But I'm not giving him $60 million. I'm sorry. You haven't done enough. If I knew you were a Super Bowl quarterback, yeah, I'll give you the $60 million. But, Dak's been in the league a while.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it, 8-9 years?
He was drafted in 2016.
Okay. So, that Mariota was drafted that year, wasn't he?
The year before.
Okay. He's been around a while to prove he can get it done in the postseason. Hasn't done it. I'm not giving him $60 million. If he's not good with 45 or whatever, then fine. Go find the team to give it to you. You haven't proved you're that guy. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'll keep looking.
That is the worst spot you can be in as a franchise when you just don't know about your quarterback.
But you do know.
Well,
you do know.
I think
he hasn't done it.
When you're holding out hope for your quarterback.
How many years did it take Jalen Hurts to get to the Super Bowl? Like 3, 4?
3 or 4. Yeah.
Okay. Patrick Mahomes.
3.
Joe Burrow.
3.
Okay. Now we can see, Corey, Lamar, and Josh Allen haven't gotten there. They've also delivered huge.
Yeah.
They win their division every year. They win in the playoffs. And Lamar's playoff record is not as good as it should be.
If you have a guy who can get you within one game of the Super Bowl, where you go out and play 60 minutes of football and he can get you to the Super Bowl, then I think that's when you found a guy who you can build around.
By the way, and he's been the MVP
Right.
multiple times.
Like Jordan Love has not played an NFC championship game.
No.
Trevor Lawrence, Tua, Dak. None of these guys have played on championship weekend.
No.
I think that's when you start to know if you can get your team to the Final Four where you have a 60-minute football game to go to the Super Bowl, that's when you feel like you have a guy.
What's Jordan Love's contract? I mean, and Brock Purdy's another one where I would be interested to see what his contract is. I will bet that while Brock Purdy's getting paid, there's some safety nets in there for the 49ers.
So Jordan Love, 4 years, $220 million.
Oh my gosh.
And he is in year 2 of that contract right now. They can get out of it kind of after 2026, where they would only lose $51 million in dead cap.
The Trevor Lawrence, if they cut him after this year, it would be $88 million in dead cap. I don't know what the number is if they trade him.
Who is there somebody willing to take on that contract?
I think the Pittsburgh Steelers would probably make a trade after this year.
That's possible.
But I don't know. And that's why I have said if Trevor has a bad year this year, I think he could be done in Jacksonville. Now, financially, that may not be possible. But how much did Denver eat with Russell?
A lot.
66.
Yeah, something like that. Brock Purdy's is 5 years, $265 million starting this year.
Yeah. And, I don't know that Brock Purdy is special.
He has gotten you to the Super Bowl,
yes.
Which I guess you can say, but like they also had on that team, and this is in the NFC. The NFC doesn't have as many star quarterbacks right now. They also had the best linebacker in the league, the best pass rusher in the league, the best left tackle in the league, the best tight end in the league, the best running back in the league. Like that roster was absolutely loaded.
Yeah.
I
like Brock Purdy, and I would be more willing to pay him because he's delivered.
Yeah, he's done it in the playoffs.
He's done it when it counts. And so I would be more willing to pay him than guys who either didn't get you to the playoffs or didn't deliver when the time comes. I mean, again, with Josh Allen, it's not Josh Allen's fault they haven't gotten to the Super Bowl. He's given a lung for that team.
Yeah.
All right? The other guys have got to come through at some point. But Trevor Lawrence, look, he's got all of the look parts, the arm, the size, the pedigree, but he doesn't scare you.
No.
If you're up and he's got the ball with 2 minutes to play, you're like, we have a better than 50-50 shot of winning this game.
No, it's not like, in terms of division rivals of the Titans, when you played Andrew Luck and the Titans never—
You knew you were going to
lose.
The
Titans never beat Andrew Luck.
Yes.
It was like, even if you were close in that game, you knew that if Luck
yes.
got the ball at the end of the game, you were going to lose.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
that's not how you feel with Trevor Lawrence, who was touted as the best quarterback coming out since Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
And it hasn't turned out that way. That's why with Cam Ward, I've said it plenty of times that you are building for 2027. When that new stadium opens, you want to be a competitor and a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you're going to start to know with Cam Ward, the worst thing that it can be is you get caught in that murky middle where he's good enough that you feel like you can't give up on him, but he's not good enough to get you to the promised land.
Yeah, no, it's a really, really tough place to be. But my answer is usually if you don't know, you know.
Yeah.
Exactly. And again, you could say, well, Corey, how can you not pay Trevor? Again, I would pay Trevor, but I wouldn't have broken the bank like the Jaguars did and bank my entire existence that he's going to be that guy.
It's so tough, though, because the market just dictates it. Because
see, people say that, but you know why the market dictates that?
Because other teams are going to do it.
Well, that's fine. Then let them make that mistake.
Yeah, no,
then let them make. If somebody else wants to give him $60 million a year, then you go ahead. And you hamstring your team for a guy who's proven he's not going to get it done in January.
Yeah, and
all right,
but that is what makes it so hard for these GMs is you run the risk of letting a franchise quarterback walk.
Yeah,
you don't think it's
like, but you should know. You should know.
And I think with a lot of these guys after this year, I think the teams will start to move on. I think Tua, if we're looking at like quarterback hot seat, I think Tua is the most on fire out of all of them. Then Trevor Lawrence, then Dak, and then I think Jordan Love and Brock Purdy.
But we think the Packers are going to be good. That's the difference.
Right. So
and the 49ers are a question mark. I mean, I don't know.
that window is closing, especially now that you paid Brock Purdy.
They need a new core.
They do.
They need a new
Because
core.
McCaffrey probably doesn't have much longer.
Trent Williams.
Kittle, Trent Williams. I mean, Fred Warner and Nick Bosa will be around for a little bit longer, but they do need to build up that young core, and right now they don't have a whole lot of pieces.
Historically, they've been able to do it. They've been able to draft and find those guys.
Right.
It's that time for them.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. Our phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Coming up next, we're going to get into that ESPN article. What do the FPI projections? There's one of them. What does it tell us about the Titans 2025 season? We'll get into it next. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 102.5 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis from News 2, Parker Kelly with you. You hear the Avengers music in the background. That is not by mistake.
We're in the end game now.
We are in the end game now. So there's an article from Seth Walder of ESPN. This came out yesterday, and it is a simulation of the NFL season using the FPI system, the Football Power Index for ESPN. it uses 10,000 simulations to build its projection. So when you see on the bottom line for tomorrow night's game, FPA says Philly has an 87% chance to win the game. That is based off 10,000 simulations.
Is that the aggregate of 10,000?
Right. It is
Okay.
like out of 10,000 simulations, the Eagles win 8,700
Okay.
times. For this article, Seth Walder picked one simulation.
Okay.
And as Doctor Strange said in Avengers Infinity War, he went forward and saw 170 million simulations.
Yeah.
And Iron Man asked, how many do we win? One.
One.
In simulation 4,091 of the FPI, the Tennessee Titans are a playoff team. We found the one.
Not only that, they start 9-3.
9-5.
No, they start 9-3,
9-3?
and then they lose 5 games in a row to finish the year. And
That
then,
is what it says.
and then they go to Indianapolis and beat the pants off the AFC South champs.
Yep. So here's what it says. The Colts win the AFC South. So,
Which is possible. I know. I heard PK, he hates the Colts, and I get it.
and I would pick the Colts to finish last in the AFC South.
See, I picked them to finish second.
Really?
Yeah.
So Titans last?
Nope.
Jaguars. All right. We're not putting the Texans last.
Do you not know me yet?
I don't know if the Texans, I don't know where the Texans and Jaguars finished in this simulation, but the Chiefs and Eagles both missed the playoffs.
Yeah,
in this. So
that's crazy.
Both Super Bowl teams. The Colts win the AFC South. Cam Ward and the Titans start 9-3. He was the talk of the NFL through 13 weeks and had a lock on offensive rookie of the year, but the Titans proceeded to rattle off a 5-game losing streak to end the season. And Tennessee limped into the playoffs with a 9-8 record. But as you said, they go into Lucas Oil Stadium in the wild card round and beat the Colts 34-13.
Just beat the pants off them. That's right.
So the Titans go to the divisional round of the playoffs in this simulation. They lose
Buffalo
to the
Bills.
number 1 seed and the eventual Super Bowl champion Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. You know what? I think every Titans fan in the world
Sign me up.
would take that season.
Yeah, it is. I just thought this was interesting. At first I was going to use this article to talk about how horrible the FPI is because I thought it was just their simulation.
I thought it was the aggregate.
Right. And I'm like, the FPI has no idea what it's talking about. We saw this with college football over the weekend. They released their top 25 after Saturday's games, and it was just all over the place. But this is just, again, simulation 4,091, Seth Walder writes. The Bills win Super Bowl 60. They beat Tampa Bay.
You think he was going through all these simulations? He goes, holy cow.
I'm
going to
honestly,
write this one.
I wonder if it was like, I don't think he went through all 10,000 of them, obviously, but he went through and saw like, all right, here are
Which
the
one
playoff
do the Titans
teams.
go to the playoffs?
The Titans are the 6th seed. They go to the division round. They lose 28-14 to the Bills. The Bills beat the Ravens in the AFC Championship game. Because again, the Chiefs missed the playoffs.
Yes.
The Chiefs go.
Well, and we're not used to seeing Patrick Mahomes get hurt, but guess what? If Mahomes gets hurt, the Chiefs are probably missing the playoffs.
Well, it is funny because in this simulation, I guess because in simulations, everything kind of reverts to the average. Like half the league goes 9-8 in this simulation.
Well, that's kind of the way the NFL's built.
5 in the AFC, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the 32 teams go 9-8 in this league in the simulation. And
But see, the league is the simulation is accurate because who picks first?
the
Saints.
The Saints pick first at 5-12, though. No one has less than 5 wins. Somehow the Bills won 13 games. No one else had more than 11 in this simulation.
If the Saints win 5 this year, Kellen Moore did a hell of a job.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And honestly, maybe he didn't because I don't know if the Saints want to win 5 games this year.
That's like towing the line of picking first.
The NFC is just a total mess in this simulation where the Cowboys win the AFC,
the NFC East,
or the NFC East.
They're the worst team in that division.
All of the underdogs in the wild card round win. So you've got the number 1 seeded Rams along with the Vikings, who are the 5 seed, Cardinals at 6, the Buccaneers at 7, and the 7 seeded Buccaneers go all the way to the Super Bowl before losing to the Bills. So there you go. If you wanted spoilers for how the NFL season is going to come out, there it is. Simulation 4,091.
I like it. I like
the Titans. So we know
again, you just don't know. I mean, as absurd as it sounds, nobody had the Commanders doing what they did last year. Nobody.
Right. That is how the NFL goes.
Mm-hmm.
Something always happens that is unexpected from the beginning.
The Bengals missed the playoffs. Nobody had that last year.
And
that was with Joe Burrow the whole season.
And with Joe Burrow putting up MVP numbers for the full season. So who knows what's going to happen? I would venture to guess that this won't happen.
Yeah.
With the Titans and Colts both making the playoffs and the Chiefs and Eagles not making the playoffs. But there you go. There is at least one simulation out there. And actually, it's funny because the AI seems to love the Titans because Good Morning Football, they did their picks and they had their AI bot. He picked the Titans to win the AFC South.
Yeah. It was
So,
only upset.
Only the robots like the Titans.
Look, the AFC South has been terrible for 20 years. I think I've gone over these numbers before.
Yeah.
Picked first 7 of the last 20 years, picked second 4 more times. So 11 of the last 20 years, they've picked first or second in the division 11 times.
Yeah.
Which lets you know that at least half the time the division has the worst team in football or one of the 2 worst teams in football. And that it's not like the other ones are that great. It's usually a 1 bid league. And so while the Texans have looked good, and we all acknowledge they used to be that worst team in football and by a wide margin, but they've drafted some good players. They got quarterback right. But they also get fat on a really bad division.
And the Colts, you don't know what they're going to be with Daniel Jones at quarterback. You would think they're not a playoff contender, although they are here. The Jaguars, we've been talking about Travis Hunter. I think the Travis Hunter trade may end up being a disaster for the Jaguars.
Well, but I think we need to kind of lay out why.
Right.
Because and it's not because they picked him. It's what they gave up to get him.
Right. They gave up quarterback level capital to go get a guy who, was he the second overall pick as a wide receiver? Probably not.
Was he the second overall pick as a cornerback?
Probably not. Can he sustain playing both at a high level in the NFL? Probably not.
And by the way, he's listed as a backup cornerback.
That's I think Travis Hunter, the talent is worthy of a top 10 pick, but giving up 2 first-round picks to take him second overall.
Is he going to be their first or second wide receiver?
Second.
Because Brian Thomas is really good. And so you traded away 2 first-round picks, okay, to take a number 2 receiver and a backup cornerback.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking at.
And
we're not saying he's not a good player. We're saying you gave up too much.
Yes. If they had just taken him, I don't think he was going to fall to them at 5, but if they had just taken him 5th, I think that's a fair decision to make.
Or you gave up a first and a third.
Right. But you gave up quarterback level capital to go get a non-quarterback. I don't know if it's going to work out for them. But anyway, and the Texans, they completely revamped their offensive line.
They had to because it was horrible.
It was bad. It might be better, but it also could just be bad again.
Yeah. I mean, do you get better by getting rid of Laramie Tunsil?
It's tough to replace 5 guys on the offensive line and have all of them be good.
Yeah.
Because there usually aren't 5
good of ones to go get.
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's why the Titans getting the 2 they got, everybody Dan Moore, we know Dan Moore didn't reinvent left tackle, but he's a solid pro.
I would bet the Texans would have liked to have him.
And Kevin Zeitler, I mean, he's been in the league a long time, but he's a proven commodity.
Yeah. Yeah. And you get to move Latham back over to his natural spot, and Peter Skoronski should be better as he moves into year 3. So the offensive line for the Titans looks good. We've talked about it before. The ceiling for the Titans, I think, is 9 wins. And that is literally if everything goes right. Yeah. Cam Ward is your offensive rookie of the year. Alec Iamaner is a great wide receiver too. L'Jarius Sneed comes back.
But you just don't know. I mean, what if CJ Stroud goes down week 1?
Right.
I mean, then all bets are off, man.
Anything can happen in the NFL. That's why people love it so much, because it is the world's greatest reality TV show.
And I hate to keep talking about injuries, but that is, I mean, in the NFL, that's just life. I mean, one of the reasons the Chiefs, Texans, and Bills are good every year, those guys haven't gotten hurt.
Yeah.
Those guys managed to stay on the field.
Right.
And so there you go.
Adam in Portland calling me Jake from Hate Farm again. He says, I love the Titans while simultaneously gearing us up for misery, staying on one side or the other. I'm telling you, I don't think they're going to be very good this year, but I don't know if anybody else in the division is going to be very good this year.
Well, look, you can be better and still not be great.
Right.
And I think the expectation should be to be better. And that doesn't mean 4 wins or 5 necessarily. It means you win more games, number 1.
Yeah.
But number 2, you look like a competent football
team. You show progress. And I think what you want is you head in next year feeling like you could be a playoff team.
Look, If they keep Cam Ward to under 40 sacks,
Yeah, it's pretty good.
yeah. If their plus minus on turnovers is 0 or better, okay,
That alone is probably worth 2 wins from last year's team.
absolutely. Those 2 stats alone, and if you get to middle of the pack on penalties, that's 6 wins right there.
Yeah.
Now, can your quarterback win you some games?
Yep. And we will see. We said it to start off the show on Sunday against the Broncos. If you can give Cam Ward a chance
Yep.
late in the game, I think that means you played pretty well.
Yeah. And if you can find a pass rush, if you can convince me you're going to get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
That is the biggest question mark. I think L'Jarius Sneed and the pass rushers are the biggest question mark.
Yeah.
I'm not too confident. I heard DVD, they've set the over-under on sacks at 32.5 for this year. And I'm like, man, that's really low. And like, I still don't know.
If they get over 30, it would be like, oh.
Like if Simmons and Sweat combined for 14,
no, that'd be
like
huge.
that'd be a big season.
Yeah.
Where are the other 19 coming from to get over that?
You're probably looking at like 10 or 11 from Jeff in that scenario.
Yes. And then maybe 3, 4 from Big Sweat.
But I mean, Arden has proven he can be a 6 to 8
and
guy.
you'd hope that Draymond Jones could maybe be in that tier 2.
Does it click for Femi at some point?
Yeah, and you'll get a couple of blitz sacks where, a safety comes down or Roger McCreary from the nickel gets a sack.
Amani Hooker.
But like, man, the fact that the over under 32.5, it feels pretty fair, and that's a low number.
Yeah, it is fair.
So
it's absolutely fair. And if you had to guess, would you go over or under on that?
I might go over just because the number's so low, but like I don't feel confident in it whatsoever.
Okay. If I thought they were going to be winning a lot of games and teams were going to have to be throwing against them.
True.
But the fact that I expect teams, because I don't expect them to have a winning record, are going to be playing from ahead, it'll be tough.
I mean, you don't even
how many did they have last year?
I think it was 32.
Okay.
Like I think that was what they went off of.
And now you don't have Harold Landry.
Yeah.
So, I think I'd have to go under.
And it's crazy because that is they had 32 last year, third worst in the league. That's less than 2 sacks a game. Like all you need is 2 sacks a game.
Now
to get
quarterbacks,
you to 34.
Unless they're young, I mean, they get rid of the ball. I mean, because even Levis took 1 billion sacks last year. Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels took a ton of sacks last year. I think he took close to 50.
Let's see.
But I mean, we talk about minimizing mistakes. On defense, you're trying to create mistakes. And
47 sacks for Daniels.
Without pass rush, it's tough to create a lot of mistakes, and that's sacks and interceptions.
Yep.
They've got their formula for how they want to do it. They don't want to let quarterbacks get out of the pocket on them. They want to corral them in, and they feel like if they can hem them in, 98 and 93 will get there.
Yeah, that's what they've talked about. That's what they built this team around. We'll see if they're actually right. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. You can text or call our phone lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. At least the robots seem to think that the Titans are going to go to the playoffs. They may be the only ones. Jay from Laverne says maybe Chad Brinker's AI and all other AIs communicate with each other. That's why the robots like the Titans. Fair enough. 615-737-1025. We'll continue to talk Titans on the other side. They're getting ready for Denver on Sunday. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Final couple of segments. Chasing Big Joe coming up at the top of the hour. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis from News 2 with you. Parker Kelly. Tomorrow, we'll have Nick Frazier, Dr. Crane with us, going to make our NFL predictions, as tomorrow the
Will
NFL
Lilith be with him?
is back. Will what?
Lilith,
Lilith?
his wife, Lilith.
Oh, is that Nick Frazier's wife?
Well, it was Dr. Fraser Crane's
Oh,
wife.
Dr. Frazier Crane. Yes, Dr. Crane. I know where the reference came from.
Beast.
I did not watch Frasier. Though.
Beast from X-Men. Kelsey Grammer.
Oh, Kelsey Grant. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I have not watched
man,
Frasier. I've watched some Cheers. Like I my dad is a big Cheers guy, so
Okay.
I've seen Cheers.
Well, that was Shelley Long, who was his
yes,
love interest.
but no, I did not watch.
Diane.
I did not watch Frasier, but I did know. I know that's where Big Joe got the nickname for Dr. Crane.
Yep.
So tomorrow we'll make our NFL predictions. Also, Andrew Allegretta from Vandy Football going to join us for his weekly visit to preview the Commodores and the Hokies. Getting some comments on the YouTube chat about our ceiling for the Titans, because the ESPN prediction, the one simulation had the Titans
9
going
wins.
9-8,
Mhm.
and I think that is the absolute best ceiling that they could get is 8 to 9 wins, somewhere in there. And Trevor on the YouTube chat says, "Oh God, don't give these delusional Titans fans any hope. 5 games max." Like, I'm not trying to play both sides here, because I know I've downplayed expectations for the Titans. And if I had to guess, I think they're a 5 or a 6 win team. But you can look at every NFL team and say, if everything goes right, any NFL team can probably get to 8 or 9 wins.
They were horrendous last year,
Except for the Saints.
and they still won 3 games.
Yeah.
I mean, they were horrendous.
They beat the Texans on the road, who were a playoff
yes,
team.
and we thought they had no chance to win that game, and then they win. This is the NFL. All right. You've got to get everybody pushing in the same direction at the same time.
Yep.
And when it's not happening, it looks ugly. But if you can get everybody going together, it can change in a hurry. Again, we've got examples of it. And so, yes, the expectation is 6 wins. That would double your total, and it would look better. But stuff happens. Stuff happens.
Yeah, like saying that a team's ceiling is 9 wins
Yeah.
isn't saying they're going to be very
But
good.
look, their bottom is 0.
Yes, if Cam Ward gets hurt,
Yeah.
I would not be shocked if they won
0
less than 2 games.
Yeah. I mean, sure, it's possible.
If you run Brandon Allen out there as the quarterback for 14, like let's say Cam Ward got hurt in week 3
Yeah.
and Brandon Allen has to play the rest of the year, they may not win a game the rest of the year.
Look, Mac Jones came in here and won last year.
Yeah.
All right. That shouldn't happen, but it's the NFL. It happened to the Titans because the Titans were horrendous last year. But, you could have Brandon Allen go out and go into Indy or Jacksonville or the Saints and
Yeah.
win because Brandon Allen's a professional.
You look at the Titans schedule, it's a 4th place schedule. It's not
Yes.
it's
designed for them to win more games.
the first 2 games are tough, but you look at the rest of the schedule.
Well,
I mean, you
There's
got
6 AFC South games in
right.
there.
I mean, even if you want to take the Texans out, because the Texans are a playoff team,
Sure.
you got 2 against the Colts, 2 against the Jaguars, Cardinals, Raiders,
Saints.
Saints. The Patriots, I think they're going to be better.
Yeah,
Is
but
that
it's in Nashville, right?
right? It's in Nashville.
You need to win that game.
You got the Seahawks. Are the Seahawks going to be?
I've got them finishing 4th.
Are they going to be world beaters? No. You got the Browns. Like that's 9 games right there that I think you look on paper winnable. Are you
Yeah.
going to win all 9 games? Likely not. And could you lose the other 8 games that I didn't mention? Sure.
Yeah, but this is what's going to happen. You're going to win some of those games you're not supposed to, like the Texans last year, and you're going to lose some games that you're not supposed to. It's going to happen.
It happens every year. That's
Yeah.
what the Titans do. It's
Well,
what all NFL teams do.
It's what I was going to say. That's the NFL.
The Titans do it at a higher clip than a lot of teams, it seems.
But when you're a good team, you can absorb losing that game
right,
that you're not supposed to.
look back at the year the Titans were the number 1 seed.
Yeah,
they lost games to the Jets and the Texans, who were 2 of the worst teams in the league.
There you go. And
They
that's what
still
I was
went
just going
12
to
and
say.
5.
I'm sure there's a game or 2 in there that you're like, oh,
The Jets game was horrible, and the Texans one was the one where Tannehill threw 4 picks in the rain. Des Fitzpatrick caught his
Desmond
1 touchdown.
Desmond
Yeah,
King got him
right.
like twice.
Like, bad games happen to good teams, and bad teams get lucky sometimes.
Yeah.
So we will see.
Yeah,
I'm,
but look,
I'm just excited to spot the ball and play football so we can stop talking the hypotheticals.
yes, and again, we're not saying stuff can't happen, but if we're going to sit here and say, Well, yeah, they could win 11 games if this happens. Then all we are is cheerleaders.
Yeah, that
And where would you being realistic?
it would stun me if the Titans won double-digit games.
It would stun the entire world.
Everybody.
And you know, and again, it's the NFL, so you never know. But if you're asking for educated opinions, it's between 5 and 7.
Right. If you're saying that the Titans can't win more than 5 games, you're being pessimistic.
Yes.
If you're saying the Titans can win more than 10 games, you're being unrealistically positive.
Yes.
It's like it's somewhere in the middle,
Yep.
right? Like
The league is designed for you to be in the middle.
yeah, that it is built for 9 and 8.
Yep.
It was built for 8 and 8, but then they
Yep.
added the other game. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Last call for phones. Wes in Clarksville brings up a good point that I want to get to on the other side. A problem the Titans had last year that I would like to see resolved at least a little bit on Sunday. We'll wrap things up after this. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis from News 2, Parker Kelly, next man up, 1025 The Game. Wrapping up the show here on Wednesday, Next Man Up 1025 The Game. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis from News 2, Parker Kelly. Again, tomorrow, Nick Frazier going to be with us. We are going to go through our NFL predictions on opening day of the 2025 NFL season. Also, Andrew Allegretto will join us from Vandy Football, previewing a big one between the Commodores and the Virginia Tech Hokies in Blacksburg on Saturday. But the Titans are getting ready for week one, taking on the Broncos. We will have an injury report today. There will be the first game week practice today. I know they practiced on Monday, but the first one that you actually get the injury report for, and we'll see who's out there on the field for the Titans. Wes in Clarksville on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, I thought made a good point in the last segment. He says, I want to see the Titans score in the second half of games. We hardly score after halftime. I mean, the one that stands out is the Bears game last year, where you're up 17-0 at halftime and you lose 24-17. I think that was an issue for Brian Callahan last year, was sustaining offensive success. The scripted drives to start the game usually were pretty good. The ones that they planned out, usually the Titans were pretty sustained on offense early in the game. It was in the second half when teams made adjustments to them that they faltered. I would like to see that improve, especially to start the season against Denver.
Well, the other problem there is mistakes. Okay. And as the game goes on and you get fatigued, and the mistakes start to pile up. All right. And in the second half of games, look at Chicago. Will Levis, the inexplicable flip to the sideline,
right,
and the block punt, and suddenly you're out. And now that, I guess you could say, well, that's not about scoring points, but penalties, turnovers, those things all get in the way of you scoring points. I guess there were times when they were down big and they were able to move the ball some, but yes, if they can protect the quarterback and not commit penalties, that will go a long way in them scoring more points in the second half, because you're right. And this is, bad teams do this all the time.
Yeah.
Where you're in a game at halftime and you're like, oh, they're in the game. And all of a sudden they lose by 30 points because the good teams keep doing what good teams do. And the bad teams, they can focus in and get it right for a little while, or the other team doesn't take advantage of their badness right off the bat. But eventually it catches up to them. And so there's a lot of that to it.
This is a big first test for Brian Callahan on Sunday, because
there's a lot of pressure on the coach.
He has spent the whole offseason and the preseason talking about eliminating the sins, the self-inflicted negatives. You have to see progress in that. I know a one-game sample size isn't enough to make a decision one way or the other, but when you've been preaching it all offseason, on Sunday, game one, you can't have a ton of pre-snap penalties.
Nope.
You can't have turnovers. You can't take bad sacks. Like, there has to be some results from the program from the offseason.
Is Jarvis Brownlee going to get called for PI? Probably. And you can live with the combat penalty. Is an offensive line going to get called for a hold? Probably. But you can't have the false start.
Yep.
You can't have lining up off the line of scrimmage. You can't have 12 men in the huddle. You can't have he didn't get off the field in time. You can't have the late hit. And so I know everybody wants to look at the final score, and I'm a broken record on this. What am I going to be looking at? Cam Ward, was the moment too big for him?
Yep.
Cam Ward, how many times was he sacked? How many penalties did the team commit? How many times did they turn it over? How many times were they able to turn the other team over? I'm going to look at all of those things more than I am the final score, because those things will tell me, is what Brian Callahan and his staff, what they're teaching, is it being learned? Is it going from the practice field to the game field? Because if it's not, then it could be a long year.
Yes. And again, one game sample size isn't going to be enough to say fire him or he's the guy, but
it's what sets the bar.
Yes, it's a big data point for him to say, okay, what he was instilling in his team actually got through in the offseason.
Yeah, we only committed 4 penalties in this game.
Yes.
Only 1 was pre-snap, and we only had 1 turnover.
Especially in a tough environment, like false starts, they happen.
Yeah.
Like Denver is known as one of the tougher NFL environments.
Yeah, it's a great place.
So
I've been there. It's fantastic.
It wouldn't shock me if there are a couple of pre-snap penalties, but it can't unravel your offense.
Look, you could handle this jump on defense more than you can the false start on offense, because usually it's a guy trying to get a jump on a sack. I hate it as much as you do, but it's because he's trying to win. Usually an offensive lineman jumps because he's a little
Scared to
jumpy.
lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, this guy's quick. I gotta get the jump on him.
I mean, we saw in the Atlanta game that I think it was the second drive for the ones. It's 3rd and 8, manageable 3rd down, and JC Latham jumps, and now it's 3rd and 13.
Yep.
And there are a lot less plays in the playbook for 3rd and 13 than there are for 3rd and 8. So
you also feel like there's a lot more accountability for that stuff.
Yeah.
Where they know it's unacceptable. Not that they knew it was acceptable last year, but I think they're more accountable to each other. So we'll see. Leadership matters. They've worked on that a lot. We'll see again, we're going to see a lot. And again, you can see a lot and lose the game. I don't mean to sound negative like that, but it's a bigger picture. It's a bigger picture than winning or losing this game.
Yep. And I said it a couple segments ago. I'm ready to spot the ball and play football so we can actually start talking about what this team is instead of what they may be. And next week when Corey joins, we'll be able to react to Titans and the Broncos on Sunday. Corey, thanks for coming in.
Sure.
Fun as always.
I always enjoy it. Thank you very much. And hi to Dr. Crane.
Yes, we'll say hi to Dr. Frazier, Dr. Crane on the way out, Nick Frazier, who will join us tomorrow. For Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly, I'm Jake Lyman, signing off. That does it for us. Chasing Big Joe coming up next. You're on 102.5 The Game.